Tyler, you brought up you had a dream earlier about me, and
Wasn't this
would you?
supposed to be about food?
Well, I want to talk about dreams first because I also have a dream story to
Yeah,
share, and
he
I have a
really wants
topic.
that fucking book, Tyler.
Okay, so the other night I had a dream where I don't remember much except that for some reason I was brushing my teeth and something felt like it was moving in my mouth. Next thing I knew, I realized I'd spat out two teeth had like broken in my mouth,
I hate
and it was really
that.
upsetting. And I have this a lot. I have a lot of dreams where my teeth get like wrecked. Do you? So
That's commonly
you guys,
has to deal with stress actually.
Jess? Oh,
Yeah.
that's weird. Well, I was wondering like,
Loss.
do
That's
you
what Google
guys?
says.
I've heard death also. I've heard
Yeah,
death comes
loss
as
and
teeth.
feeling insecure. But that's if you believe that your dreams have any meaning.
I
Yeah.
usually
Wait, I'm so
don't.
confused. I'm sorry. My headphones got disconnected
Well,
for a
that's
bit.
why I want to ask. Like, do you guys have any reoccurring dreams? Anything that reoccurs in dreams?
Yes.
I have had
I think I-
I've
sequels
only
of
had one
dreams.
talked about
reoccurring dream in my life.
Is
I
it
haven't had it in years.
is it your demon?
It's a Chucky. It's a Chucky one.
You have a
Fucking
dream with
really
Chucky?
scared of Chucky, bro? What?
Okay,
Oh.
as a young kid. Okay, there's a reason why I was scared of Chucky. All right, and then the movie.
Oh, you've told me this.
The movie was just the movie. I didn't really remember as a kid the movie like at all. But it was just my brothers. They bought a Chucky doll. It's like normal life size Chucky doll, and they tormented me with it. All right, man. They like kept scaring me. They're like, "Yeah, he's gonna get you," and he looks so creepy, man. He's like, "Yeah, that's Chucky right there." And then I was so scared of it. It got to the point like the PS3 was in their room and I wanted to play it, so I would go into their room when they were gone. But they'd leave the Chucky doll like on their bed, so like I'd open the door and Chucky would just be like looking directly at me, and I couldn't play it, and I got really scared. All right, but I had a reoccurring dream with Chucky that involved just I don't remember what, but I'm just like in a bus, sitting in the back of the bus while Chucky enters the bus and just slowly comes down and starts killing everyone in front of me as he's like walking
Why?
towards me. And that's like the only thing that I remember from that dream, but I've had it like 3 or 4 times in my life.
Wow.
I haven't had it in years, but Chucky's evil.
Damn.
Did you say you had reoccurring dreams?
Who?
Amar.
Oh yeah, I do.
What?
But I don't remember any of them. I just know I do.
Yeah,
You
I
don't
gotta
remember
be
them, you
honest.
just know that they've happened multiple times.
I mean, I
enough.
guess sometimes you just wake up and you're like, oh, I've had that dream before, and then you just forget it.
I guess that is true.
I have had
I
dreams in like
remem-
the same like dream world. Like, oh yes, this is my dream school that just it's weirdly not school, but it's like also part school. It's like weird. It's like a mix of like the elementary school and the high school, and it's like the same world if I think of that school world, I guess. It's weird.
I remember I never had dreams like this until I heard about it from you guys, where you wake up from a dream and then you go back to sleep and then you continue the dream.
Yeah.
Actually,
I only had that like recently.
Yeah, waking up and then being like, no, no, don't end. Go back down.
I've had the opposite. I've woke up, I'm like, please, I don't want any more of this dream, and I go back to sleep, and I have to go back. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like a lot of my dreams end up being quite like scary, either in concept to
Really?
actual things that happen. I have a lot of freaky dreams that I don't like.
It's weird. I
I
can
love
have
my
scary
dreams.
dreams, but I'm never like really that scared of them. Like I had the dream with the freaking Emmy thing from Metroid, but I wasn't like scared in it. I was just like, I don't know. I'm like, oh damn, it's one of those Emmy things. That's crazy.
I don't have like scary dreams in the sense where like I wake up shaking and crying, but I have a lot of dreams where I will wake up and I'm like, I don't want to go back to sleep. Like I don't want any more dreams. I've had a lot that just they do upset me.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only real like nightmare I had was Chucky one, and then of course there's like the first time like I actually died in a dream, and that just
Didn't you
freaked
just
me
have that
out. It was
recently?
such a weird. That was recently. That was like I don't know if this was this year or last year.
No, it was this year.
Yeah, it was a recent dream, and I didn't like it.
It's so weird because you wake up in like a cold sweat. It's really jarring. At least I do.
So you guys have had the actual like dying dream. I haven't
Yeah, I've
had that, but
died.
I have had something similar.
Cried
I
so
had
many
a
times.
I haven't had a dying dream, but I had something similar. I had a dream where someone broke into my house and I shot them and I killed them. And I just remember in the dream after it happened, like I just felt sick to my stomach. And when I woke up and I legit felt like physically ill. Like I was just like, this feels disgusting, like bad. Which I guess is nice that there's something still moral inside of me, but still, it was weird because I've only had 3 dreams where I woke up like an actual physical reaction, and that was one of them.
Have you ever fell
It
off
was
the bed while dreaming or something? And wake up
once
from
when I was
that?
really young. I
Oh my
woke
god!
up falling out of bed.
I have a weird story. So on my
Okay.
birthday, when I was a kid, I was in like elementary school. I think it was like kindergarten or first grade. I had a weird dream, and I fell off my bed, and I woke up, and I forgot it was my birthday, and I went out, and everyone was like, "Surprise!" And I was like, "Bro, what the fuck is going on?" And it just fucking face planted on the floor, and there's a dozen people in the living room. That's it.
I fell out of bed once. I was just like, huh. And I just climbed back into bed and went back to bed. Do you guys
I've
ever have
never
those? Go ahead,
fallen out of
Avi.
bed like in the middle of the night, like sleeping. I've just fallen out of bed like while I'm trying to go to sleep. There's only been one time when I woke up. Look, man, alright, I couldn't get comfortable. I didn't realize how close I was getting to the edge of the bed.
Oh, and then
I
you
just
fall
kind of
off.
fell out. Yeah.
No, Avi, I can't relate. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't fall out of my bed a lot anymore. I mainly fall out of my chair.
It would be terrifying if I
But
fell out of my bed with the freaking bunk.
I do have something else actually though, kind of related. Do you guys ever have it where you're trying to sleep and then you have this sudden jolt in your bed where you're just like, huh?
I just have those even when I'm
Earthquake.
awake.
what?
You've never been
What do you
like
mean,
laying
like a
there in
sudden
bed,
jolt?
like your whole body like jolts, like you just
Like
like hit
shivers?
something. No, not a shiver, like a full on like, huh, like a spasm, like your whole body you just
Oh,
kind
like
of
you're
like, whoa.
falling off.
Yeah, like you're
Oh
just about to hit the
yeah.
ground and you kind of just like bounce, like you're like, whoa.
Yeah, when I'm in
God,
bed, I can think of stuff. Like, if I think of myself getting hit, I could actually, like, feel it, even though I'm not, like, asleep. It's very jarring. It's only when I'm in bed, though.
I remember I've had it sometimes, yeah, with like similar thing. I feel like an impact, my whole body jolts. But I've also had it sometimes where for no reason. I'm just laying in bed thinking like, oh man, I'm thinking about other stuff. And then all of a sudden I'll just happen, I'll be like, ow. This is like all the muscles like seize at once or something. It's weird. I don't like it.
How often do you guys dream? Like, is it, like, nightly, monthly, weekly?
Almost every
Pretty
day.
much every night.
Nice. Same.
I would say like
I don't remember like most
Of
of my
course.
dreams though.
well, they say that you do dream every night. It's just usually you don't remember it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you forget like
You
90%
of
most
your
of
dream
it.
like within
I
the
kind of
first
thought
second
about,
of you
like,
waking
making a
up.
dream journal because some of my dreams, I swear, would be freaking hilarious.
If
My
I know one thing, if you have a struggle, if you want to have like I forgot the term, but a conscious dream where you know you're dreaming, dream
Oh,
journals
shit.
help.
Lucid dream.
lucid dream.
Lucid
Yeah, I've
dreams.
never
Yeah.
done that
You know,
before. I want to do that.
actually,
Really?
It's fun.
I've
So-
had it once and it wasn't even cool. It was just me driving and I was like, hey, I don't
I've-
drive like that.
I don't want to. I don't like lucid. I've had
Oh,
dreams where I
no.
realize I'm dreaming, but I don't want to have a lucid dream because I've heard sometimes you can have bad
Lucid
reactions
dreams
to
have
them.
issues and you can have bad reaction where you
It's
do
kind of like a bad trip. You just
What?
kind
Yeah.
of like freak out, and then like bad stuff starts happening.
Oh,
I don't know how
sleep
true it is.
paralysis
I've heard
actually
of
can
it.
come off of messed up lucid dreams.
I've heard of it, but I have no interest because I have had dreams though where it is weird. While I'm doing something and I pause, I'm like, wait, this is a dream, and I'll like hold on to that for a second. I'm like, wait, can I wake up? And then I wake up, I'm like, oh,
Dude,
that was
okay.
easy.
I used to be able to just lucid dream like perfectly fine up until like recently where I have actually had that issue where like I realize it's a dream and I'm like, yeah, this is a dream. I could be awake right now, and then I just wake up.
damn, you
man,
just scared yourself.
Usually
It's
I
just,
have that.
yeah, it's like I'm dreaming. It's like I'm dreaming. I could be doing something, and then it's just like I wake up and like, oh,
Well, again, usually I don't have good dreams, so usually I realize I'm like, wait, this is a dream. Can I just exit? And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, thank God.
Did you ever do like the pinch yourself thing? I've never done that, but I know it's like a very common trope and stuff.
No,
huh?
but I
I
had
don't get that.
something. I
Is
did
that like
something
actually like proven or
I
anything?
have no
Because I don't
clue.
get
I've
it.
just know.
like
I
in a
feel like
dream,
I
like you
can
hit yourself.
simulate pain
Like
in my dream.
no. Okay, so I have a really kind of like weird and scary, stupid and scary story. Have you guys ever fallen asleep on like you've all like fallen asleep on a limb, I bet, and like you wake up and you're like, oh my hand's like really asleep.
Oh yeah.
I had one instance that was so bad that like I pulled my arm out from my bed and I raised my arm and it just like flopped like my hand. Like I physically like couldn't move it. And like when I squeezed my hand and it was like numb. Like not like tingly, but it was full on like numb. And
That's when you put it on your dick.
I was no,
Why?
I didn't do that. I
Huh?
don't know
Because it feels
why.
like someone else is doing it.
You are
Oh
so
my
lonely.
God,
You are
Avi.
Anyway,
so lonely, bro.
can I
What
continue
the
my
f-
story, Avi?
Spit that shit. Holy
So
No, it's something
in
I read online.
I have heard of
What?
that, but anyway, I would
Never
like to
heard
continue my
shit.
story. So I was so afraid that I was gonna lose my arm that in order to feel something, I remember I grabbed my hand, pulled it to my mouth, and I bit one of my fingers to like.
What?
I was like, I can't feel anything. So my first instinct was pain. Can I feel pain? I bit my finger. I went, ow, ow, ow. Yes, okay. I still have a hand. It still works. It's really asleep.
Good job,
I don't know
Emilio.
why. Just in my fear that like I had lost all feeling in my hand. I'm like, if I can feel this, my hand works. And I bit into my finger, and I was like, yep, it's just
Fuck.
really asleep.
I've had that happen before too. I've just not gone insane to the point where I bit my finger.
Well, we tell you that I
Uh,
get really paranoid about like injuries and stuff. But
Dude,
yeah,
just
I've
one day we see Emilio again. He's just missing a finger. And he just goes,
Honestly.
oh,
I saw
I
a hot
fell
dog in
asleep
my
on my
sleep.
hand.
I saw a tasty hot dog in my sleep. I went for it. But like yeah, I don't know. So I think it's something that runs in my family actually is bad dreams because my grandma is constantly telling me about her nightmares, and what makes me upset about them is that we were talking about like people who like read into their dreams. My grandma is one of those people, and it really bothers me.
I wonder if it makes it worse for you. Just know, kind of hearing that stuff.
I'm wondering if not as it makes it worse, but if it has something to do with my family, because my mom is the same. She doesn't like super believe in it, but she also has like vivid, like scary dreams sometimes. I remember one time I've talked before, but I had a dream that was so scary that I woke up physically gasping for air with how like scared it was. It was awful. I hope that I never have a dream like that again. It wasn't even that bad. It was literally just it was like a horror game. Like I was trying to leave, but right before I opened the door, I turned around and something sprinted at my face really fast. And right as it got up in my face to like kill me or whatever, I like gasped and woke up. It
So
was
you still
bad.
haven't been killed, Emilio. What the
No, but
heck?
I was in imminent death, and it
Emilio, you're
scared
telling me you
me.
didn't get attacked by dinosaurs that shot lasers out of their eye, and it's like the most traumatizing dream as like a 5-year-old. And
No, Tyler, I did
they're
not.
like Pikmin. They grew out of like my backyard like
Like
plants.
someone pulled a little
Yeah.
sprout, they did a little flip and started blasting.
Then I like ran to my parents' room and then they blasted my parents and I got so scared.
I, I thought that was you ran into your parents' room after you woke up.
No.
No, that's a plot
I'm
twist,
picturing,
man.
do you guys know the part from Jurassic Park 2 where the kid comes in and he's like, Mom, Dad, there's a dinosaur outside. And they're like, yeah, whatever. And they look at the window and they just scream. I'm picturing Tyler goes, he's like, Mom, Dad, there's a laser dinosaur outside. They're like, yeah, right. They open the curtains and then it's just, and they get just disintegrated.
It's just funny because I look
It's like,
back on it.
oh,
It's the
no.
stupidest dream but it scared me so bad for like a straight week. I remember I was just kind of scared of dinosaurs that would shoot lasers.
I had something, I had a dream when I was really young, like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 that I still remember. It's not even scary, but something happened where like spiders were crawling over me and my family and we were like, don't move. And a few like crawled into my mouth. And I just remember biting and like like crushing the spiders in my mouth. I remember
Oh,
they crunched like tortilla chips for some reason. Like it wasn't just like a little like squish. Like they went.
what did they taste like?
I don't remember tasting them, but I just remember
Tortilla
being like,
chips, obviously.
and then I woke up and I'm like, no, thank you.
Completely
I remember
random
actually.
thing. Do your guys' dogs' feet smell like Fritos?
I
I don't
what?
smell my dog's feet.
I
I don't
haven't
think I've
ever.
ever once smelled my
I don't
dog's
think
foot.
I never used to smell
I-
my dog's feet. Believe it or not, Tyler. Is
What
this
the
something you would like
fuck?
to share with the class?
Okay, so you know my dog jumps and like gets on my shoulder, like her paws on my shoulder. So then I just kind of smell Frito smell, and I go, huh?
Are you sure it's not your dog's
Not
face
you.
smelling like
No, no, it's specifically the feet.
that? Is a little weird.
I had to make sure.
Actually, speaking of dogs and dreaming, have you guys ever seen your dogs like dream?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's so
cute.
cute, man.
Sometimes it's a little scary though.
Sometimes it has been
Sometimes
scary,
you
I would
feel
say.
bad for them, but then you're like, eh,
You just go, eh.
Sometimes my dog, she like moves her
it's
little
like,
legs and like, whoop.
they're
But
having a
sometimes she
dream.
full on like
There's also
growls
times where,
and like
they're kind of
barks.
like doing stuff, and it's like, I don't know, this could be a bad dream or this could be a good dream.
I
don't
know.
know.
It's like, are you chasing a squirrel or you're running away from like a monster?
I remember one time I had a dream that was so nice that I woke up crying. I wish I could have a dream like that again. That was the best dream I've ever had.
Yeah, mine was Emilio getting the death note. I've never woken up laughing before, but I woke
I
up
had
laughing
I've had
so
a
hard.
couple of dreams where I woke up laughing. Tyler, the one where you were boogieing down gave me a good laugh when I woke up. I don't even know why I would have a dream like that, but it was funny. I'll always remember it.
Avi, remember when you said there was a dream that you said you woke up and you thought it would have been an amazing story? I just had that happen like a
Oh
week
my
ago.
god, that is like one of the one times I'm really pissed off that like I
I
didn't write
literally
down the
just
dream
had
or
that
anything.
happen to me a week
I couldn't
ago.
even write it down. Just one day I was dreaming, I woke up and like I thought about the dream I just had. I'm like, that's actually was a pretty cool like dream. That was like a good story. Like that's something that like I could actually write down. I feel like it would be good to like read and it'd be an actual good story outside of just some shit I made up. And then I instantly forgot it. Like the next
Totally
minute I
Dragon Ball
forgot
2.
about it and it hurt
I know.
so badly, man.
It was weird because
This
for me it
is
wasn't when I woke up, but like at the end of the dream, one of the few things I remember was in the dream me going, "Damn, this is a really good story." And then all I remember is like a mystery ghost thing and there's like a house. That's all I remember.
I don't know if it's telling about me or whatever, but I've had some weird dreams wake up and I'm like, was that like a weird power fantasy in my dream?
You have power fantasies?
I
Oh
think
my
I sort
god.
of did. No, okay, so
Do you not?
let me explain so I don't sound like a
Occasionally, but not all the
psychopath. Let me
time.
not all the time, just a few times, but the one that comes to mind was I had one where let me preface this was I was playing Doom Eternal at the time. So I was feeling quite powerful. But I had a dream where I was running away from like a warehouse full of monsters. I was like jumping around, like getting away from them. And all of a sudden, in my dream, like an action movie sign, I just went, screw this! And out of nowhere, I pulled out the shotgun from Doom and started running around blasting dream demons. And eventually I got caught by them. I woke up and I'm like, that was a weird, like, power fantasy where I just decided I'm the action hero now. And I was like, I don't know, it's weird. Avi, do you have any power tripping dreams?
Huh? Yeah, it just happened. I just go, oh, I can. What if I like was super strong and like did things?
I never had
I
that.
don't know. There's no real specifics to it. I just kind of like
Oh, it's
strong,
because you're weak.
and then you go
You
around and
go
do
Super
stuff.
Saiyan, bro.
I've had dreams where I've gone Super Saiyan. Fuck you.
I want to go Super Saiyan in my
Awesome.
Have
dream.
you, Rob? You cannot tell me you have not had a dream where you've gone
Yeah, I
Super
can't
Saiyan.
say I have. I honestly can't say
Oh
I have.
my
If you
But
want to
that's
Damn.
like
say
sad.
maybe when I was like a kid, but not like as a
I'm not
middle schooler
talking
to high
about like
school.
today. Did you have a dream? Like just ever in your life?
Sure, it's plausible. When I first watched Dragon Ball, I may have had a dream where I went Super Saiyan. but I cannot say that I remember it like you do.
Hmm?
I
I mean, I
cannot
don't
say I
remember
remember it
like
like you
specifics
do.
about it. I just know I've had a dream like that.
I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it too much. It's kind of a weird thought, but I remember when we watched like the puberty in video 5th grade, they mentioned wet dreams very briefly,
Mm.
and I always thought it was we don't have to talk about it too long, but I remember thinking about it because like for a very long time I never ever encountered anyone who ever had one, and I did eventually meet someone, but I was just remember I always remember that scene from the video because it's weird. It just basically I thought it meant you would like pee your bed because what happened in the video was this guy. He's like shamefully walking out of his room with the sheets, and his brother stops him. He's like, "Come with me to my room. I have to talk to you about something." And then it explained it in the video, but I just remember being really confused. I'm like, "Wait, so like you piss your bed during puberty?"
Yep.
And it's really like bizarre. And
Hmm?
I remember that puberty video was stupid. God.
I haven't ever had a wet dream, but I feel like I've had dreams that should have given me a wet dream.
I've had a wet dream
I
before. Hold on, I got content, bro. So
Oh no.
this did not cause a wet dream. It's just it pops into my mind the first thing because I remember it. So for context, your body can feel outside stimuli when you're dreaming, and it can change your dreams. So
Yeah.
one time I had a dream where I kissed someone, right? I think it was like my crush at the time. And the dream continued on for a little bit. And when I woke up, my dog was just staring at me from across the room. And I was so worried that the dog kissed me when I was asleep, and that's the reason I dreamt that.
a
It's like one of
nice
those scenes out
warm
of those
kiss,
movies.
and you're like, ah, and then your dog's just like,
Licked
wake
me
up,
in the
Robert,
face,
wake
and
up.
then it made me have a
Your dog
fucking
just had a
horny dream.
smirk face and closed the door when you woke up.
Oh no. But
That was-
yeah, I've never had one of those, but I've had some interesting dreams, but I've never experienced one.
oh,
They suck. They're not
They
fun.
suck.
Well, the
They're
dream's
not
fun,
fun.
but not the outcome.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
I don't
no.
really remember.
I
The
mean, I'd
fucking
imagine.
wet dreams are like the ones where I feel the most stimuli, right? Like I've had dreams where I've been stabbed, shot, murdered, right? But I always feel wet dreams the most, like physically.
Yeah.
It's really weird,
I mean,
right?
cause
I feel like the shock of being murdered, would be a little more, I guess stimulating and wake me up more than sex. But
Rob,
I guess it's just that primordial teenage drive.
Ape
Well, I guess I'm a
brain.
young adult drive.
a wet dream's requirement is that you
You wet.
you make it wet. It's not a wet dream unless you have to clean up afterwards.
Yeah, I'm aware. That's
Oh,
why I said my kissing thing. It's technically not a wet dream because I didn't come.
oh, okay.
That's what I
Ye-
I am aware of this.
So I remember my best dream ever. It was really cringy. I don't always talk about it because I feel like it's the
Dream was my
cringiest
wet
thing you
dream.
could ever imagine in a dream. But basically, what I
Holdings.
remember is I met someone that I hadn't seen in a very long time, and so they're taller than me, so I ran into the arms to like give them a hug because we like miss each other, and then they picked me up off the ground and spun me around like in a movie. And I remember I was crying, and then they were crying, and I woke up with tears in my eyes and such a sense of happiness that I haven't felt in a very, very long time.
I mishear that. Did he say wet dreams at the very beginning?
That was not a wet dream. That
he
was
has
just a
not had
regular dream.
one.
I have not.
That's what he
That was
said.
just the best
He
dream
loves getting
I've ever
spun
had.
around, Rob. It just.
Dude, I thought he was gonna say he ran into her tits. That's what I thought he was gonna say. I was like,
Well,
what the
she
fuck?
was taller than me. But no, that wasn't the emotion at the moment. But I just remember waking up, I was like, that was nice. And I'm like, why did I get spun around? And I remember it's because I'm short. No, that dream is nice. I hope one day maybe it will come true and I'll see that person again. I remember it was sad because it was right after someone I knew had like moved away, so I wasn't gonna see them no more.
Yeah, you.
It was not me. I remember when I was younger, it wasn't a dream, but right now I talk about someone who moved away. I had it in 7th grade actually. We had the newspaper class, so we had to write like typing in newspaper, And before winter break, this guy's like, Emilio, I'm moving away forever. And he gave me a piece of paper. He's like, I need you to do me a favor. When we come back from winter break, I need you to log into my account and publish that article for me. And I was like, absolutely. And I blew it.
Oh my
I
god,
Oh
deleted
my
it.
Emilio.
god, Emilio.
Oh
I
my
realized
god.
after winter break, it'd already been like a few days. I'm like, oh shoot, maybe I can still do it this time. I reached in my coat pocket, and it was not there. And I felt sick about it for actual years.
What?
Like legit, for like legit years, I would just think back on the moment and cringe, be like, I failed him. It was the last thing this kid asked before he moved away was for
Happy
That's like
one
an
birthday.
thing.
anime pro tag
That's the wrong
backstory right
person,
there.
My
bruh.
god.
But I just felt bad because I'm like, this kid asked for one thing, and like, I couldn't even do one thing, which is go into his Google account and like send this to a teacher.
Yeah, you probably caused him to fail the class.
He
What if you
moved away.
caused him a letter grade?
He moved
It was
away.
just him
Robert.
confessing his love.
Okay, and he just transfers his grade to his new school. That's what they normally do.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I feel like if you transfer halfway through the year, they would like null the grade.
It depends.
I don't know what happened to him, but he disappeared. But in my somewhat defense, the teacher sucked and the newspaper never got published, so it didn't matter anyway. Nobody saw it.
But you still thought for
But
years.
legit years, occasionally it hits me. I'm like, oh man, I really did
If
fail
the
that poor
newspaper
kid.
never got punished, I would not feel guilty, bro. Wait, what
Yeah,
if it never got published because you never turned in the article?
Oh man.
Yeah, like a big
Don't make him
chunk
think
of
about
is
it for the
missing.
next
Well, like,
10
I don't
years, Rob.
look
That makes
now.
sense.
Look. Now
Main
that I'm
article isn't
19,
there.
now that I'm an old man, I think about it. I'm like, oh man, I messed up. But I don't like eat myself up. But now, when I was like in 7th, 8th grade, I felt awful about it. I felt bad about it. But yeah, I failed that one child one time.
Child, he was like the same age as you.
We were
That
children.
child.
He was like, well, we've been like what, 12?
I think he should probably call you child. You're probably shorter than him.
In your guys'
I bet I could
dreams,
still squeeze into the same coat that I was wearing that day. I think I still
Jesus.
have it.
Don't worry, I really haven't grown much since middle school either. Fucking some of the jackets I've
Yeah,
had
but
since
you
then
grew
can
past
still fit.
5'1", Robert.
I mean, yeah.
I stopped growing like
you
after
reflect
6th
too.
grade. No, Robert, I wish.
That's unfortunate.
I'm a very, very small man.
This is what happens when you don't drink your milk, bro.
I drink so much milk that I'm lactose intolerant, Robert. Don't hit me with that.
Are your bones strong now, Emilio?
My bones are bulletproof, baby.
Do we need
You know,
to test
some
that?
got milk ads and took it as a
Speak-
challenge.
Speaking of that, I remember when I chipped my tooth. I told someone about it. I told a swim instructor about it, and he was like, "You know what you should have done is you should have tried sticking your broken tooth in milk. That way, it would have like healed it
What?
or like hardened it and prevented it from getting worse." And at the time, I was like, "Oh, you know what? That makes sense." And I look back on it and go, "That's the stupidest advice you could ever give anyone."
Yeah, what?
Milo, do you not
What?
know that teeth are just made out of hardened milk?
Oh my
Well,
god.
duh.
You put some milk in the freezer and then it's a
It's
tooth.
like, I remember chipping my tooth. I was really worked up over it at the time because I'm like, I'm gonna forever know that I have a chipped tooth. Like it's gonna bother me every day, and I barely even think about it anymore.
Does it not bother you the fact that it was from Cut the Rope and an iPad falling on you?
Okay, the story about how I chipped my tooth bothers me, but the actual filling,
The only
like I
time I
can.
chipped a tooth was when I had baby teeth.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter. I chipped a full full on
I don't think
tooth.
I've ever chipped a tooth.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if you look in my mouth, one of my front left tooth is filled in at the back and at the very tip at the bottom.
Yeah, well, I don't believe you.
Tip.
So next time we meet, I
Wow.
need like
Tip,
full
bro.
access to your
Next
mouth.
time
man.
I meet you, I'm gonna force my jaw thing. You're gonna get your head in there, and be like, "Yep."
Oh, it's
I
even
also-
in the
I have a-
back. You're fine.
I also one of my teeth I have a filling actually because I had a cavity.
Bro, same.
Actually, weird is when I got the cavity, they were like, "Miller, you don't have a cavity in your tooth. It's in between two teeth."
That's a thing. What the hell?
Yeah, that's normal when you don't
Sounds
floss.
communist.
Oh, that's
well, it's like-
flossing. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah,
a big. I am
the
now, but
main
I
thing.
wasn't a big flosser. But I remember, yeah, I had to have I have a filling, And actually, like a year ago, I went to the dentist, and my filling is kind of weird. Like sometimes stuff gets caught on it, or it feels like weird. But I'm like, oh, it's just having a filling. But I went to my dentist, and he was like poking on my mouth a little longer than normal. I'm like, is everything okay? He's like, yeah. But did you know that your fillings fall like coming off? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, it's kind of like loose, like something moved it. Did you know that? And I was like, I didn't know that could like happen. And he was like, yeah, let me know if it gets worse. And that was it. He didn't say like,
That
oh,
was
we should
it.
fix it, or he's like, oh, that's no big deal. He was just like, we'll leave it. Let me know if it like gets changes or anything. And I'm like, okay.
And I guess
I was
if it doesn't hurt
I
or it
guess,
doesn't
yeah,
fuck
but I
with
was just
you,
kind of like weirded out that he told me, he's like, oh, by the way, your filling's like coming off, but don't worry about it.
yeah, I would feel weird too.
I remember something else with having my dentist one time. He was like, okay, I can do a check from oral cancer. Do you want me to? And I was like, well, yeah. And I was like, well, why wouldn't you just do that? But you know what the check for oral cancer was? He literally just ran his finger across my top and bottom gum and he went, all right, you're good. That was it.
I feel like that's something you would just do. I would not even really
It's something you
ask.
just do.
Yeah, why do you need to
He
ask
asked, he's like,
about that?
yeah, he was like, I'm gonna check for oral cancer. Is that okay? And I'm like, yeah. But then I was just
He's
surprised, like
he's
his
probably sticking his entire finger. He was stuck your entire finger in your mouth, right?
But don't they
Some
like
people are
do that
probably
already?
Well, he
uncomfortable with
literally
that.
just took
They
his
normally
finger,
don't
put
shove
it to
their
the edge of
hands in
one
your
gum,
mouth.
ran it all the way to the other, and did that for top and bottom. He's like, "Yeah,
I
you're
don't know.
good." I'm like, "That's it. That's all it takes."
Yeah, most of the time when they go to the dentist, it's not like their entire finger is down my throat. You know, it's like maybe the tip at worst. Most
What?
of the time, it's outside
Wait, what? Down your throat?
down my throat. Yeah, but I love
Just,
it when they
just the
shove their
tip?
Whoa.
fingers down my throat.
I remember. Oh my god. Oh lord, this just reminded me of
If
something
it talks about hating the
stupid I
dentist, I
used to.
fucking love going to the dentist.
You're just
I
weird,
What?
Rob, alright?
What did you
I
just
like
say
it
to
when
me?
they clean my
I
teeth,
think
bro.
Rob
My teeth
finds
feel
like
all clean and
the
shit.
whole like clean
Oh
thing
shoot!
tasty.
I was just
That
scared,
actually
bro.
reminds me. I have a
People hate
dentist
needles
appointment on
too.
Tuesday, but it also reminds me. I actually do have a severe anxiety when not severe, but I have a bad anxiety when I go to the dentist or the doctor, to the point where for the past few years, every time I go to the doctor, they have to take my blood pressure twice because they're like, "Your blood pressure is really high. Are you okay?" And I'm like, I'm gonna
Jeez.
admit, I'm really nervous.
I had that
Like, cause I
happen
remember,
once, and it was really weird. They just said don't stress out, and all that did is just make me stress
yeah,
more.
they
Man, I
always
hate
say
that
they're
advice.
like just
Stop.
relax, like don't think
Shut
about
the
it. And
fuck
I'm like, yeah, they're always like just
up. That's
relax
a
and think about. It. I'm
big
like,
L.
what do you mean just relax? I'm getting my arm squeezed over here, and I'm in like a building where you're gonna tell me if I'm gonna be like sick or something. What do you mean relax?
Actually, I remember what it was. It was the blood test thing where it squeezed you. I had my legs crossed, and then they said don't have your legs crossed. It stresses you out. I wasn't stressed out, but then they said that, and so then I'm start stressing out, and the thing's squeezing me, and I'm
Psychological
stressing out
damage.
even more. I'm just like, God damn it! Just
But I
let me have my
remember,
legs
yeah,
crossed.
I went in there when I was like 16, I was like 14, 15, and I was taking the exam, and I was like nervous. I remember feeling like my heart was beating. I'm like, oh, I gotta relax, I gotta chill out. So I was like breathing deeply, and they were like looking at me, and they looked at my chart after, like, "Are you feeling okay? Like, has anything weird happened?" I'm like, "I'm not gonna lie, this just makes me so stressed." And like, "Oh, we can tell your heart rate and like stress levels are really elevated right now, so like chill out." And then they got it back, and they're like, "Okay, see, that's more normal." So I don't have anything wrong with me. I just in those moments I get really tense.
So
And
when
then
they
last
told you to
time
chill out, it worked.
that I was able to like I was able to think about something else, but I remember at the time when they told me that, like, what do you mean chill out? Like I could just do that. I just had to think of something else.
God
But
fucking damn it.
and then the last time I went, I sat down and I was nervous, and they did it, and they're like, okay, this time stand up and lift your arm, which I'm pretty sure was them basically saying, Amelia, you're stressed out. You gotta like move. You can't be sitting.
Hmm.
So every time I've gone for the past few years, I have to have it done twice because I get nervous. I hate going to the doctor. I hate going. Rob, you said you like when they clean your teeth.
Yeah, I was gonna say I also love the fucking blood pressure monitor, dude. What the fuck? I
What?
love
You
You
let
are
that thing squeezing
Okay.
your
nuts,
arm?
You
man.
know, I
that shit, dude. I don't
I can't
fucking
say
know why.
anything against that.
That shit does wonders for me. I have no clue why.
What?
That releases so much serotonin. Holy shit. That is like I look forward to that shit when I go to the doctor. I'm like, I hope they take my fucking blood pressure. I have no clue
You are
why. I just do.
crazy, man.
No, Tyler, remember we talked about this the other day actually. So the whole blood pressure thing, when I was younger, it used to actually just kind of feel kind of good, like the pressure around your arm and stuff like that. It didn't feel bad or anything. But then just recently, my most recent visit to the doctor, it just felt off and weird, and I didn't like it. I don't
actually
know
know what you're
what
talking about.
changed, but
Yeah,
I,
I've kind
I,
of felt
I
like that
used to be
recently. I
Okay.
know
perfectly
what you mean.
fine with
Robert,
it.
so when you go to the dentist, you say you like having a clean. What
Oh yeah, I
about
fucking love that.
do you have the part where they get like the metal like tool and they like scrape at your teeth to like get like plaque out of it or whatever to like clean it?
It doesn't bother me, but I am
That
mainly talking about
makes
like
me
the water jet.
so anxious.
Does
I
that?
hate that
You
part
know,
where they get like the metal hook and they're like scraping your teeth.
I
That
actually
part
don't mind it.
that part makes me so unbelievably upset.
I just don't like the part where they have the thing where it's like, it just tastes terrible when they're spraying it. So you're
Yeah,
trying to
that
not taste it,
disgusting
and then they
thing.
have this stupid thing that sucks out all of your spit and saliva,
Oh, that
and it's
thing
just
is
like,
that's
oh.
another. I don't like hate that part where I'm like, oh no, but I don't hate
But
that
when
part.
they
For me,
spray
it's
water on you, it feels like you just
oh,
met the heavens. I swear.
that is the best part. But I will say the scraping part is what bothers me. It's also I feel like so again, I have this weird. I have a lot of irrational fears, and one of them is that so your teeth are like they're like rooted in your mouth, like they're not supposed to come out. But whenever my dentist flosses for me, he does it so aggressively that I get scared that he's just gonna like pull a tooth out and be like, "Oh, Emilio," because he like
He's a
gets in there.
professional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a
He has
professional, but
standards.
Emilio, are you not getting in there?
I get in. I get in there now. I do actually floss regularly now. I do it like 2 or 3
Yeah,
times a
that's the
week.
same for
I
me.
need to.
A
I
week?
actually, when I was young, I didn't do it at all, but now I at least do it like every once in a while. But
I
when,
thought your gums
I thought
fucking grew back,
supposed
and
to
when
be
my
way more
dentist told
often.
me, I'm like, oh shit, I have to floss now.
the reason I've heard that like you can get like brain like serious blood infections if for like plaque buildup in your mouth.
Jeez,
I've heard
I
if
can't say I've ever heard of that one. Worst I thought is just like, yeah, your teeth look bad.
no, I've heard
They
it's
pretty.
not common, like it's a rare thing, but I've heard that like if you get like like really bad infections in your mouth, they can like because it's in your head, they can like spread to your head if you get like really bad infections. Apparently, I've heard it happens a lot in
Yo,
dogs that don't get like their teeth cleaned.
completely different topic,
Oh.
but kind of on the same page. I got glasses.
Oh, you got glasses?
What?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
said that.
so
Send pic.
I
Send
didn't
pic.
know that.
We need Rob with glasses.
There are actually two different prescriptions for different lenses. My left eye is like 0.25 and my right eye is 0.75.
So are you gaming with one eye only?
What?
What?
I don't know. That's what I think. Like how your eye gets bad, you use it too much or something. I don't know.
No, I don't think that's exactly how it works.
Everyone I know from Mongolia has been telling me that's like you're gaming too much. You're gonna be blind.
Like
I mean,
incredibly
it
strong.
probably stresses your eyes, but it's not like because we
Like, it
all get.
causes dry eye if you use your
Rob
monitor
does
too
game a
much.
lot.
Yeah.
It's always
I
He
will
good
say
does
if
game
one
with
you
thing.
us.
play games a lot to
So
use
my
a
vision was
blue
bad.
what was it called? It's like a blue something. Blue light.
Blue
It
light
helps like
that just.
stop blue light and helps your eyes.
Blue light affects your circadian rhythm, makes it harder to sleep. I
Rob, I
actually
want a pic of you
researched that.
wearing it.
Oh my god, bro.
Did you send a pic of
Face
himself?
reveal.
He sent a
Huh?
picture of the
No, I
glasses.
just sent a picture of the glasses, bro.
Oh, those are neat. That's good. Thought you
Yeah,
even get like those circle rimmed ones.
well, a little bit. I got one of his. We got circle rim ones. Actually,
Yeah.
doesn't look that bad with them.
Avi,
But
what were you saying?
oh yeah,
I
you
don't
saying
even know.
You
Was I saying something?
were.
something about your glasses situation.
Yeah, I don't recall.
Okay. I want to say one more thing about the dentist really quick. Was it Cruz that said he's never ever been to a
Yeah,
dentist
Cruz
before?
has not been to a dentist.
I find
Has
that
he
so
set that up
hard.
yet?
No way. That's a lie.
I
What?
find that completely hard to
That's
believe
not
that he
true.
hasn't had like any sort of complications. Like where he's like, "Oh, I've had like a toothache or something. I need to check." I find it hard to believe he's gotten this far,
There's
19
no way
years, and he's never been to a dentist just to get checked.
Dude, his
He
breath would
eats
stink
fluoride every
fucking
day.
daily, bro. What?
Does that make your breath
Yeah.
stink? I feel like brushing your
What the
teeth.
fuck would he do with all the plaque buildup?
Maybe he's just that
Why
good.
is he not here? You have to ask him.
I know. I'm pretty sure he has it. And then we told him make an appointment, and then he said, "But that's hard" or something like that.
I literally made one. I thought it would be hard, but I literally called. I think on Friday, and they literally just asked for my name, confirmed it. They said, "Okay, we're free on this day. Can you come in then?" I went, "Yes. All right, we'll see you then." And that was it.
Mine was
I
even
thought I
more
would have.
crazy.
I thought I would have to like go through like a website and like schedule something. No, I literally called and they just said, "Yeah, you can come in." And I was like,
Because
"Oh."
you played Hentai Killer.
What?
I got it. I have it now. I now have a tab because you played Hentai Killer. Village Resident Evil. What the fuck?
Well, you do kill a very important sex symbol in that game.
I don't
When
get that. I don't
Lady
get Lady
Dimitrescu appears.
Dimitrescu, man.
I get that some people do
What do you mean?
some
Dude?
people
Look
do
at
What do
just
you mean
her.
you don't get it?
I don't.
What do you
I mean, I
mean?
understand
Look
if
at
you
her.
don't like it yourself, but how do you not get it?
I don't know.
I mean like
People like
I
tall
don't care for
women,
it, but
alright?
I guess I do get it in that
You can see
there
like
are
her
some people
nipple
who
through her
just
clothes for some reason.
I have heard of that. I heard that that
Wait,
game is
what?
oddly well textured in some regards, where people are like, "Bo,
Is that
see
a?
some
I
strange
can't zoom in
things."
on the image.
What image? Are you?
No, I'm on the fucking Steam page for it. You can't zoom in on images in Steam
Wait, Rob.
pages.
So you're saying on your Steam it says because you played Hentai Killer.
Yeah, Aaron recommended me this shit.
Would you like to tell me what Hentai Killer is?
It's a game Ty bought for me for like 50 cents. And it sucks, bro. There's no servers. Fucking, I can't pick up any other gun. There's supposed to be a fucking shotgun.
So it's an
Fuck if I know
FPS.
what that
Is it
is.
an It's an FPS.
It's a third person shooting.
Oh, it's a third person
Yeah,
shooter.
it's
My
kind of
bad.
like zombies, right? Except if the zombies took so much bullets and
Wait, I think I've
they were all in
heard of this
bikinis. The
game.
anime, yeah, that hates
Wait,
anime.
is it? Oh no. Okay, this isn't what I was thinking of.
Also, Emilio, you said you
What?
saw like a clip of Assassination Classroom, or your brother was watching it or something.
I have seen, I think, 2 episodes with my brother. I've actually seen a little bit of it, and it's kind of a neat concept. I don't know. We were watching the dub, and the voice was really obnoxious.
I don't know. Avi
I
said
don't
you would
know.
like it.
I watched it, and I just found it really jarring that there's all these anime characters, and then there's just this one creature. I don't know. I found it very jarring, and I was
Huh?
the 2 episodes
What?
I watched. I was not a fan of Assassination Classroom. I was not interested.
How long is that show?
It's like 2 seasons, 20 episodes, not very long.
I
Oh, what?
watched.
I thought it was like one of the longer ones.
No.
No, I
Hmm?
think it's only. I'm pretty sure
I don't know
the
if
rest
it's
of it's
done
like
yet.
short.
We'll see.
Either
I
way,
was under the impression that it was just like one of those shows that just has not stopped. But I don't know.
I watched some of it. I don't know. It just didn't pique my interest. What else did I? I remember another show my brother made me watch was called Fire Force, and that stunk.
I
I
heard the
don't know. I
animations
heard
and
like the
everything is really
animation's
good.
good, but the
Yeah.
stories, okay.
I didn't like the story. It was a bit. I couldn't understand it. Like I don't. I have this weird where like you watch some things and they just throw you into the world, and then sometimes it's kind of like, oh, okay, this is a cool world, and sometimes I just can't get into it. Like I tried reading Dune a few weeks ago, and I couldn't get into it. There was just all of a sudden just all this stuff that they just hit you with and
Oh,
dumped on you, and I was just like, I
Emilio.
can't.
Emilio,
What?
I've actually seen something about Dune. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
That
couldn't
that's kind of the point of the
click with it.
overwhelmingness of apparently something I don't know Doom, but apparently it's how it's supposed to be.
I
I
just
mean,
heard
yeah,
that it has
I
a
don't
lot its
doubt.
own language when you're reading. Like there's certain words in that are like specific to only Dune or
No, I
something.
was looking through like at the beginning as like a chapter thing, and it says at the back there's a full on like glossary of
Yeah,
words you
that's
need to
right.
know. And it's
Yeah.
like I can understand the appeal, like if you really like science fiction and stuff, I can imagine like loving getting immersed in that. But I don't know, I just couldn't for Dune. I couldn't. But like compare like other things, like today I started playing Final Fantasy VII, which again is you kind of just get dropped into this world with all this crap. But that I was interested in. But I don't know. Reading Dune, just too much. I just didn't want to. I didn't care to, and I stopped reading. Which sucks, because like I would like to know like why people consider it like a good science fiction story. It's
Have you seen the
too
movie?
much. I have not seen either of the movies.
Mhm.
I heard though, I don't know anything about the book, but I heard the movie is only like half of the first book.
It's only it's like freaking the
Because the book
Final
is
Fantasy
big.
remake of
The book is
movies.
thick. But here's the other thing. I was open Dune and I found out there's 6 of them. There's 6 Dune books.
Fun.
That's a lot of lore. I was like, oh my god.
I think
This
Amar
is,
likes Dune.
I think there's like Dune and Children of Dune, Heretics of Dune, God Leader of Dune. There's some weird stuff going on there. But yeah, it's interesting, but it was just kind of like, oof, it was a lot at once. Maybe one day I'll have the time to reread it, but so I decided starting to try and read again before bed. So this time I'm gonna go back through the Narnia books.
Oh my
I
goodness.
read 2 hours in
What
college
this man does instead of watching BoJack
because it was
I
Horseman.
my
know.
because it'll mess with my circadian rhythm if I try and watch BoJack before bed.
I hate you.
Avi, if I'm exposed to blue light before bed, I can't sleep. If I read The Magician's Nephew before bed, I go to bed with a smile on my face because I like Narnia. Some of the books are. I want to read through all of them, but I remember some of them being really boring. I remember the Horse and His Boy is really boring, and The Silver Chair I remember being really boring.
About the Percy Jackson books, don't you guys love those things?
That
I
shit was
honestly
heat.
kind of would be
I
interested
absolutely loved those books as a kid.
because
Yeah.
I hear people say I actually hear people say that they're good books, and it would be
I
cool
mean,
to.
yeah, they're good.
I think it's a cool
I
concept,
don't know
honestly.
how well they hold up in like a college perspective, but from like a middle school perspective, I fucking love
Hmm?
those books, bro.
I'm reading Narnia right now. That's like a
I,
fifth
I don't
grader's
I
book.
don't
I
know.
haven't
Books
really.
kind of hold that same effect like kids' movies do,
I
Rob,
don't know,
where it's
bro.
like, oh,
Yeah, I
when it's like good, like
Dude, it could
they're just kind of good.
100% just be fucking Percy Jackson killing everything and
Because
I mean,
Tyler just
come on,
trying to
Rob.
figure
Have
out
you read
fucking
the
stuff.
Hungry
questioning
Caterpillar?
if something like Shark Tale holds up and
The
then you
what?
rewatch it now is like questioning if like some Dr. Seuss books still hold up. The
Okay,
Tree
I
and
don't
Eggs
know
and
what you're
Ham does
talking
hold
about.
up.
I tend not to go back to green eggs and ham, bro. I graduated elementary school.
You know what because you know what I think. I still think a
Yeah.
lot of Roald Dahl books are cool. Did you guys ever read one? I thought of it the other day called The Twits. Have you ever heard of that one?
The what?
No.
The Twit. I believe that's what it's
Never
called.
heard of it.
Basically, there's these 2 old miserable people that are just like the most evil people you can think of, and then it's basically it's like a Roald Dahl story. Like you hear about the stupid things they do, and then they have a tree of monkeys, I think it is, that they keep caged, and the monkeys break out and they plot revenge. And basically, what they do is they take all the stuff in the house, glue it onto the ceiling, and the twits come into the house and they go, "Oh my god, we're upside down. We have to glue ourselves to the ceiling to be right side up."
Actually, I remember that
And they do
that
it.
whole ceiling thing. I've
Huh.
heard of that before. I didn't realize that was a Roald Dahl book.
And I remember some other things. One that was really funny to me is this is actually a really funny prank. Is the wife has a cane and the guy is like mad at her, so he cuts little slivers of wood and puts them on the bottom of the cane so it gets slowly and slowly bigger. And then one day she notices, she's like, "Oh my god, why is my cane getting bigger?" And he goes, "Oh my god, you're shrinking. We have to do something right about it right now." So what he does is ties balloons to her wrist, nails her ankle to a stake, and has her fly into the sky to stretch her back out.
Well, what the hell?
But he convinces his wife that she's shrinking.
What the fuck?
It's I'll send a picture of it. This is a real Roald Dahl book. Let me find it.
What the hell?
The Twits by Roald Dahl. Yep, this is the image.
When'd
This
you
this
read
is
this?
I read this in elementary school, and this is the cover.
Oh my god, I know that cover. I never
What
actually
the
read
fuck?
that. That
Wait.
cover.
Something strange oh my god. Oh my lord. Oh god. I looked up the twits and it says ad shops the twits. There's Secret Santa Surprise Kindred Tales with some two scantily clad men. And there's another book called The Night Dad Went to Jail.
What?
What I'm hold on. Uh cop, copy link address. This is just in the weird shopping. The
Why'd
night
he
went
copy
down
link address?
because it wouldn't let me get just a picture. Just open the link, okay? I wasn't expecting.
Jesus
I just
Christ.
saw this. I was like, what the?
Oh my god, actually, now that I see this, I've seen this at a flea market.
Oh, you have.
Or not flea
There's
market,
another
a
one.
god, what are they called? Farmers market? Farm?
A farmer's one.
I don't know. People
Have
sell
you guys
stuff
ever
at
heard of
those.
the Witches?
Three Witches or something?
No, the Witches. It's another Roald Dahl book that I loved.
I think I just heard you mention it, but I haven't read it or anything.
The
What
Witches
the
is
fuck?
a. Oh God, I forgot it was remade into a movie. Oh no, this looks awful. Oh, gross.
Oh.
But basically, the Witches is there's a boy who lives with his grandma, and he thinks like they live in a hotel, and one night a whole like coven of women come in, and they think they're just having a party, but he discovers that they're actually witches, and they turn him into a mouse, and then he and the grandma have to become witch hunters. Roald Dahl was
What was Rodell
strange to me.
smoking when he was making these? What the hell?
He made
No, you
some
know what it
interesting
was?
books,
It
man.
was because he was cracked up from World War II, man. He was shell shocked. I actually read a book. I thought it was a Road. It is a Roald Dahl book. I thought it would be one of his goofy ones. I realized in fifth grade I just read an autobiography about his life, and I was like, "Oh wait, this isn't a story. This is just him." And it was interesting.
Huh.
Avi, you read Matilda recently, right?
Yeah, 'cause it didn't have Willy Wonka. It
How? What did you think of that book?
was pretty good. It was basically the movie.
What do you like better?
Ooh.
The movie.
I
The
would also.
movie?
That is something where I will say I think the movie is absolutely
It's
better than
just
the book.
straight up the movie. The movie is
The
just the book,
Matilda. I
but like with
love the Matilda
visuals
movie.
and yeah, it's
Danny
good.
DeVito is so funny, and I think I really do like. I really do like the plot of just this girl just destroying all the stupid adults in her life. It's and it's something about it is like very like satisfying, like just being a kid and like being getting like you mad at your parents, so you like prank them. It's like yeah.
I mean, you're right, but it also just feels bad for her.
Yeah, you feel bad for her, but it's also like she destroys
Why
these
did you
stupid
guys?
idiots.
Why did I get undeafened? Who undeafened me?
I did
What?
not. Someone undeafen Discord Smurf. Do you want me to deafen him?
Yes, please.
Okay, you
No.
server deafened again.
God.
Who just
All right,
left?
can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I was worried you server
Did
muted
Avi
him
say
too.
something?
Who undeafened me?
Who just left? We lost someone.
Probably a Mar,
Oh, Will.
cause nope.
I didn't undeaf. I'm
Will's
literally reading
gone.
SCPs.
What? What do
You know what
you?
other? You know what movie I think I haven't seen the movie in a long time, so I can't comment. But you remember what movie I loved that was better than the
Okay,
book?
it was Cruz. He just clicked in and undeafened me for no reason.
Also,
James
how do
and
you check that?
He just
Huh? I'm not
knows.
telling you.
Got a
It's
fucking
only if
sixth
you're a
sense over here.
moderator.
but I loved the James and the Giant Peach movie when I first saw
I
it.
thought I was a moderator too.
I love the movie and the book, man. I enjoyed those.
I remember. I think it's in the movie they're actually missing one of the bugs. They cut him out.
I don't recall.
I think it's the silkworm. I don't think he's in the movie.
Is that the movie that's like stop motion or
Is he not
something?
in the movie?
Yeah, because he's not. I think they're missing one of the bugs because I remember we asked my teacher about it, and she's like, "Well, sometimes they change things, from book to movie," and that's when I started realizing, oh, it's weird because there's some stuff when you read the book and the movie where it's like, oh man, it sucks that they cut out like a lot of this stuff, but then you also have to remember that there is a lot of stuff that just doesn't make good movie material.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
especially
scenes from Harry
dialogue
Potter.
sometimes.
Yeah, like internal dialogue and like.
How dare they not perfectly recreate the Oompa Loompas from the Willy Wonka book?
Well, I think the one in the new movie is about as good as they'll get without making anyone upset.
Yeah,
Fun
be
fact:
honest,
Oompa
that's like kind of
Loompas
the
were
main
actually
reason I don't.
based off of Emilio's offspring.
No, it's not. Don't tell lies. I mean, if you, I want you to be honest with me. If I told you I was going to dress up as an Oompa Loompa, would you legit dress
Yes.
up as Willy Wonka and
Oh
come to
no, I
school
would
and like
go out.
walk around with me all day?
I was 100% down to go out and buy a full outfit for Willy Wonka.
Okay,
All right, man.
here's my question: original or Johnny Depp Willy Wonka?
Johnny Depp.
Okay. Would you have wanted me to be a classic Oompa Loompa in like the white overalls?
I would have been fine with either or. The classic would have been preferred, but I would have been happy if you went with the new.
Literally. Did you guys read Goosebumps in school?
I read like the first like four, but I really read a lot in school on my own time was the Magic Tree House.
Ooh,
I didn't
I
read a
do
lot of
remember
Magic Tree.
Magic
I think I
Treehouse.
read like one or two. I don't remember a lot of
I
it.
loved them.
I read a lot of Goosebumps. I love Goosebumps.
My mom used to read us a lot of Magic Treehouse. I sadly don't remember it, but I do actually remember a few of Goosebumps. And looking back on it, some of those Goosebumps ones are actually really good, like ideas for like full-fledged, like
I've
I guess
already
like.
seen this one. It's
But I remember one
yeah.
I read that was really cool was there was this girl who she had like a reoccurring nightmare that her house was on fire, and then she kept having like these weird memories. She kept having these weird instances with like her next door neighbor, and she believed that her neighbor was like a ghost, and she kept trying to prove it. But by the end, it was revealed that she was dead the whole time, and she was actually the ghost.
Oh damn.
And it was actually like a really big plot twist, and it's like, dang, it's a good
Did you guys
story.
ever watch the show for
I did not watch
Goosebumps?
the
There was a
show.
show?
I didn't know there was a show until like a few years ago. I'd never heard of it.
I love the show, man. I used to watch it all the time. But also, I got one of the things stuck like in my head. There was this one episode about this like boy who has a brother who's like he thinks it's a robot, and then he kind of like is trying to figure out if he isn't, and then he realized, oh my god, my brother is a robot, but he's malfunctioning. So his parents like sent him back to like fix him, and then he like confronts them about it, and then big plot twist, everyone's a robot and he's a human that he like got ordered online from. But
That's actually like a
Is
cool
that a side quest in
story.
Fallout 4?
No,
I was trying to figure out the episode because I remembered the like
it's actually
show
a
and
cool
episode,
like
but I
idea.
couldn't remember like which one it was. So I ended up just watching like
A
a
bunch of
full season
Goosebumps
of
episodes.
Goosebumps episodes just to find that one episode.
I
I
Damn.
ended up finding
remember.
it though.
I remember a bunch of.
It
I
wasn't worth
remember.
it.
What didn't live up to the hype.
It didn't live up to the hype.
I have some. I remember there's a Goosebumps one. I remember it's called. I think it came from under the kitchen sink.
Oh, that's an iconic
Where
one.
Is
there's
that
this
like the first one, I think? I
maybe,
think that's
but she
actually one of the
finds like
few that I read.
an evil sponge that like feeds off of bad energy under her sink, and it gets like huge. I remember the one about Slappy the puppet.
Night of the Living no dummy.
Yeah, I do remember reading that one.
I
I
I'm be honest, I don't remember a lot about it. I just remember I read
I
a
just
few of them and I remember that they were constant ones for that.
he had a bunch of sequels. He came back. He was like an iconic Goosebumps character. But I remember I remember just what happened was basically at the end.
Dude, I like the Goosebumps Chucky more than actual Chucky.
Well, that's who we're talking about.
Mm.
But I
Sorry,
remember basically what happened at the end was they deduced the puppet was coming to life, and the brother dressed as a puppet like smashed the doll for some reason. But I remember I think the end was they literally put him in a bag and tossed him into a wood chipper, and they're like, "Well, that's that."
You guys ever watch the movie?
Yeah,
With Jack Black, no, I did not.
I
It's
remember.
good. I never watched the sequel. I heard that one wasn't as
There's
good.
a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
I didn't watch it, but I heard there's a scene where they have Jack Black as R.L. Stein meets Stephen King, and they have like a face-off or something like that.
Why is there two Tylers?
What?
Cruz, have you dentist ever?
No.
Oh,
Cruzs.
What do
Why?
you mean? Why is there two
I don't know.
Tylers?
Never
my
took
Discord
me.
bugged out and showed that the person who joined was Tyler.
Are your tooth like black or something?
I thought we
No.
had another Amar situation.
How? What's your secret?
Brushing my teeth.
That's crazy.
Good.
Cruz, are you
It's
sure you
not,
don't have
bro.
any cavities? Because
Do you like
floss every
can
They'll
notice.
just get kind of worse and worse over time.
I don't know. How do you know what's a cavity?
Your
You
tooth
don't.
will
You
hurt,
go to the doctor
and the dentist would.
or
Well,
dentist.
like your tooth will hurt and it'll turn black when it gets really bad. But
That's when it's
normally you
like
go to your
almost too
dentist and they
late.
check for you.
My teeth are like not black.
You can
Yeah,
also
that's-
just have some that don't
Yeah,
hurt
but they're
at all, and
not
they just
white
kind
either.
of are there.
If your you might literally have a day where your tooth just falls out.
Okay.
You should also find out about
Motherfucker
your
over here
wisdom
doesn't
teeth.
have
if you need
dental insurance.
your wisdom teeth yoinked.
Well, I haven't taken off my wisdom teeth yet.
Well, you should. Well, you
Yeah,
need to
same.
check if you need to, because if you wait too long, sometimes it gets bad.
Yeah,
No,
like me.
I think my wisdom teeth like grew. Like
Oh, do you have them out?
Don't you also just have to
Yeah.
wait sometimes? Like your
Sometimes,
wisdom
like-
teeth aren't ready.
I'm having
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine's
kinda
not
like,
ready. I was told to
Oh.
wait.
I'm kind of my wisdom teeth are growing, but basically they're like right now they look fine, but we have to keep an eye on like one of them. So right now they're okay, but like that can change even on when you're like, because your wisdom teeth grow for like a long. What's the point of wisdom teeth?
Our
Isn't
jaws
there
used to
no
be
point?
bigger.
Why
When-
do you have like 4 slow growing teeth in the back of your head?
We used to have big boy jaws, and when we were
You
long-
used to have like a really good like
was for grinding
jaw.
up
We had
meat.
good teeth and stuff.
Mhm.
Is this like how?
and help grind up meat more?
Is this like how we had the appendix for like some other use, and now we just don't?
Yeah, the
So now it
appendix was
just
for
sits-
eating raw meat, if I'm not mistaken.
I heard
It's
it
not that
was
we
used
don't.
for processing,
there's
like-
no use anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it just sits in our bodies as a literal time bomb.
Mm.
This is actually
that.
something that stressed me out, and still does to this day, is the idea of the appendix. Like, I'm like, what if one day I just have a bad stomach ache, and I don't realize that, like, my appendix is, like, hurting. But it's also one of those
Honestly,
things where I feel like I would know.
That and kidney stones seem
Oh
awful.
my god. It's awful.
I'm so scared of having a kidney stone because everything about that just sounds awful.
It
yeah,
really
like, it comes out of
does.
your dick, like when you like pee.
Yeah.
I've
like-
also heard that, yeah, that is just one of the most painful
Yeah.
experiences that a person can, like, go through.
They're like, oh, don't drink too much soda.
What is your worst physical pain you can remember?
Mine's
Hmm.
probably the operation on getting a tooth pulled out that hasn't came out yet.
That
Is-
sounds
That was
awful.
no fun. It was mostly the freaking needle touching the tooth, like stabbing so far that it touched the tooth that hasn't came out with that just it broke
That
me. I was like,
sounds
this is
horrible.
awful.
Don't they put you like on drugs for that? Like anesthesia?
Yeah, but I guess it didn't do enough. Actually, that's what the shot was for. It was for numbing. But yeah.
I don't know.
Damn it, Tyler.
When I was a kid, I had some weird virus. And it fucked me up so bad I couldn't even fucking
Coronavirus?
move.
I haven't had one where I couldn't
Robert
move,
got
but,
like COVID-5.
I don't know, dude. My temperature was so high, and I was freezing. My dad wouldn't let
That
me
just
go under the blanket because he was worried about it going higher.
that just sounds like a bad fever. Or like a bad like flu. Cause I had
Yeah, I think
some
that's probably like the worst I've been. I've had like a really bad
that
flu
was
where I like just couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah, true.
the worst like sickness I had was probably strep throat.
Ooh,
Oh yeah,
wait.
that's
Strep
stinky.
throat was not fun.
I remember I got I don't know what it was. I'm pretty sure it's like an ear
That
infection or
one was
something, but I got something that just made it the inside of my ear hurt like hell. But it also just made it so anytime I swallowed, it was unbelievably painful.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's ear
That happened
infection.
that was happened to me when I had strep throat. Every time I swallowed, hurt, but
It
I
is
also
like,
felt like congested, so I wanted to constantly swallow.
yeah,
So I was in like
Yeah.
constant pain.
yeah,
I would
it's
say
god awful.
Honestly, if your ear would hurt, just get like a napkin, some like garlic, like some vapor rub, and like heat it up and put it in your ear. Honestly,
What?
breaking out this
that's what my mom did.
ancient home
Dude,
Mexican
that
Napkin,
medley.
that
garlic, and
that
vapor rub.
works.
What?
That works, all right. When my ear would hurt, my mom would be
Chris,
like
is
doing
this a
that.
Mexican? Is this just the thing
This
where
is
you
some
go like
Mexican mom.
vapor rub fixes everything?
Yeah, dude, just like the vapor rub,
Cruz, are
put
you
it
just
like
I
rubbing aloe
rub it
don't
vera
want
on
to
and
say,
everything?
but
rub it on and garlic, put it in a napkin, go to like the stove, like heat it up for a bit, and like put it in your ear. And
I can
done.
actually think what the worst pain I think I've been in that I can remember is
Wait, what the
I have a
fuck?
couple of bad stories, but recently was I've talked about it before. I used to get really awful ingrown toenails, and
Oh yeah.
my toe got an infection, so like it
Oh
was
god.
red and tender to the touch. And I don't want to talk about like how I cured it, but I will say this: I was walking around with it, and before I like cleaned it, so it wasn't like less infected. It was so tender that like rubbing my other toe against it like hurt, and I accidentally kicked a box, and it was some of the most. So like when I'm at home, I don't swear, but when I kicked this box, it was so bad that I involuntarily like screamed a swear. Like
Really?
it was, and I that is the only pain I've been in where I actually teared up. Like I actually had tears coming out of my
And
eyes
your
because it was
parents heard you
bad.
and they beat you.
My parents didn't hear, but my brother did. My brother was like shocked, and he was laughing at me because he was like shocked. But I actually
And
was
then they
teared in
proceed
my
to beat you.
eyes. And then I won't talk about it because it's gross. But the next day, I was like, I got it. I endured the pain and I cleaned it out, and it hurt less. I still had to go to the doctor to get it removed, but it was no good.
Honestly, if you start getting like ingrown toenail, just get a pedicure.
I don't know if
What?
that cures
That
it, but
yeah, it would work. But
I
that's
don't
when like
know.
you start. That's when you start getting it. Cause they take it off for you
Yeah.
before like it like gets really bad. Just
But
like
I
when you
remember
start to feel it,
I went to the doctor
get a
and they
pedicure.
numb your toe, which is the most painful part. Is they inject you with this toe fluid, and it's
Toe.
so
They inject you with this toe.
no, it's a numbing agent. But Amar, didn't you say you had this done?
Yeah, same
It
as
is
you. It was
so
fucking
painful.
terrible.
The numbing agent, you physically feel it like swelling up your toe, and it hurts like heck. But then once it kicks in, you don't feel. You just kind of feel them moving your toe, and they trim it, and they're like, "All right, wear open-toed shoes and like wash your foot," and that's it. But that was
God,
pretty
I
bad.
still remember the smell of pus that comes with ingrown toenails. It's
I don't
Uh,
remember the
uh,
smell, but I do remember the infection was not fun. The infection was painful.
Yeah,
And
my dad
then,
gets like an ingrown toenail once in a while, so just gets a pedicure.
well, I'll keep that in mind if it ever happens
that's a
again.
big brain
Yeah,
strat.
Cruz, if I
if
ever
you
get an
start,
ingrown toenail, can you give me a pedicure?
I don't know how to. It's like a
So just
professional.
cut off the toe.
Yeah, honestly, Avi, you don't deserve your toe. But just
Actually,
cut it
I
off.
remember another
Okay.
story. I have a couple of other stories of being in pain. There's one that I got a splinter in my foot, and
Oh, Splinter.
but like a bump like formed around it, so I couldn't get out of my foot. So for like a couple months, every time I put pressure on my foot in a certain spot, pain would like shoot through my foot, and this went on for like months. And eventually, my body naturally like it just turned into like the spot where it was like just turned into like a callus and like kind of came off, which is gross. But I don't have a splinter in my foot anymore. It was nice, but that was
Isn't that
pretty
like a
bad.
thing where people get like stabbed with pencils, but then like their skin goes around it, so they just kind of have lead in
It's
their
like so
arm?
deep in that it just hardens, and then your body, I guess, just doesn't really dissolve it, and it's not bad. So you just have lead lodged in like under like the thin layer of skin. I
You
think my
become a
brother.
cyborg then.
That's all it takes. And then the worst sickness is either strep throat or one time I was like robbed where I came home from I felt sick that day and I'm like, I'm gonna go to school. My mom's like, are you sure? And the second I got in the car to go home, I was just done. Like I got in bed, like I was shaking when I wasn't in bed, like and when I was in bed, I was so like cold but like sweating and I just felt awful. And I remember I got up to eat, and in like 10 seconds from getting out of bed, I instantly started like shaking and chattering my teeth. It was bad. It was no fun.
Sickness.
When you guys
Sickness
got
is
like a scab or something, did your parents ever put hydrogen peroxide on it to like kill the
Oh
chemicals they
my
said?
fucking god.
I've heard of that, but my parents didn't do it. We just stuck
It's,
Neosporin.
it's to kill the bacteria.
Yeah, well, the thing about I've
It
heard is actually
burns.
it does do that. It burns. I've also heard it's also kind of a double-edged sword because what it does is it just kills cells.
It
So
kills all
it kills the
bacterias and
bacteria, but it
cells that
also
are
like burns
regenerating.
your
Yeah.
healing body. So it's kind of like a mixed thing to do. But I have heard of that.
Yeah, I remember always hating it. I remember I got scratched and I was like, oh no, she's gonna take out the hydrogen peroxide.
White
N-
people.
We never did that. We just put Neosporin on it and put a band-aid over it.
Yeah, my mom would always pour hydrogen peroxide. Then after you'd pat it dry, put Neosporin on it, and then just leave it be.
You
I
know
Bro,
just
that
put a
I
bandit on it. I never even put
you
like any
didn't
extra
clean it. Well,
stuff.
it's a miracle you're still alive, man.
I
You didn't get a childhood infection that like rotted your brain.
These dude, I'm
bro,
surprised the
I didn't
motherfucker
just
didn't get
perish.
smallpox.
But what was I gonna say? I had some. Oh, you know, the first time I learned about hydrogen peroxide, like for wounds, was actually I don't know if you guys played it, but in The Walking Dead season 2, after Clementine gets bit by the dog, that scene where she sews her arm was so hard to
Dude,
sit
that
through.
is
That
such
is
a
one of the most like
painful scene.
excruciating
Jesus
scenes.
Christ. They made it
Dude,
so
I
much worse than
remember.
it needed to be.
Because it makes you do it. It's like hold A and slide to put a stitch with fishing
I mean,
line in
it's
your
such a
arm.
good scene because, like, yeah, it
It
really
really
just
just shows
pushes it
like
in how
Clementine's like
awful that
power, but
was.
it is an awful scene.
dude,
But
Dude,
I hate getting
that,
sunburn.
Yeah, that
that
does
Walking
suck.
Dead season, bro.
I've never
I
gotten a really bad sunburn, thankfully.
My dad had something called sun poisoning. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of
I'm
Huh?
this.
pretty
I
sure
heard
that's
about it
called
literally the other
cancer.
day.
Yeah,
No, it's a
skin
separate thing.
cancer.
I've
It
heard.
is a separate thing, and it's weird. It can happen
Doesn't it make you
as
like swell up?
yeah, it makes you swell up, and it. You don't have like the redness of it. It just burns and it swells, and it's just whatever touches it just burns. It's really weird because it's like sunburn, but also itchy. I think too. He said.
Oh, but it hurts to. Oh
So it's
no,
just
it
all
sounds
pain.
awful. But I've heard of I heard of it literally just the other day. I read like what are some unusual conditions I heard of. I'm like I've never heard of sun poisoning. Is it just you out in the sun too
Yeah,
much?
I think it's the exact same thing as sunburn because it was when we were camping and he just didn't put
Oh
sunscreen on his
no.
legs and it got him and it was like this isn't sunburn but it's burning. I don't get it.
I think I've talked about it before. I tell you guys I got hit in the head with a rock from like 20 feet.
Oh
What?
yeah.
So I was actually at Lachlan's house when this happened, and he had a treehouse that was straight up. I don't know if maybe it wasn't that high because I was very small at the time. I was like in third grade, but
He
it
sells
looked like
magic
it was at
items.
least like
House?
15 feet in the air. So it was like pretty high.
Wait, but a minute, was it a magic tree house?
It might have been. I don't recall. I only went one time, and I never went back to that treehouse.
I
But
wonder why.
basically, he had like a rope and pulley bucket so he could like pull stuff up and lower stuff down, and for some
And
reason
shit.
they were pulling rocks up there, and little Amelia was running underneath when one slipped and one cracked me right on the back of my head. And I remember just looking down and going, ah. And then I
Wait,
went
how big
inside.
was the rock?
It was probably like palm sized. So it was a
Huh.
pretty size. It wasn't like huge, but it was like a good like rock. It wasn't like a pebble.
It was a good rock.
So I remember my head hurt, and I went inside to tell my mom, and I remember just like being like, "Mom, my head hurts," and like rubbing my hand over where it is, and I remember pulling my hand off of my head, and legit, the entirety of my hand was covered in blood. My entire
Oh
hand was
shit!
covered in blood, and at that point, I just started crying, and my mom's like, "What's wrong?" And she grabbed my hand, and she's like, "Oh my god, Emilio, what's wrong with you?" And then I mean, at the end, it was like a small cut in my head, but again, it was bleeding, and I had like rubbed it with my hand, so it was like all over my
And
hand.
plus, you were a little kid.
And as a kid, so all the other Boy Scouts would come in and
Tired.
be like, "All right, who did it? Who nailed Emilio with the rock? Who did it?" And I never found out. I have an idea of who it was, but I never
Who?
found out who exactly. You wouldn't know.
What does it say the
Me.
name?
It was
Can't
Graham.
spoil names.
His name was Dylan.
Oh, Dylan.
What is it?
Either way, but basically the way they treated it was literally just they got a flashlight, they looked through my hand, they're like, "Oh, there's just a
Are you
small cut
fucking
in his
kidding?
head." And they put a wet towel over it and they're like, "Just hold that there." And well, it healed, but I remember that is one of like scariest visuals is your entire hand is covered in red blood.
Red
It's
ink.
awful. When I was like 8, 9, it was bad. That's when everything changed. 3rd grade.
That's when your growth spurt stopped.
Don't.
Oh my
Wait,
god, the
wait, is that real?
connections.
I don't think so.
I
I
have a question
legit
for you.
me.
No,
Really
Mark.
forgot how to grow.
Huh? What did I do?
Did you throw the baby in the oven?
Witcher?
Yeah. Did you throw the baby in the
First
oven?
playthrough, no. Second, yes.
Okay.
But actually, no. My life did change.
Wait, are you
in 3rd
playing right now?
grade.
No, I just saw some stuff about The Witcher on Twitter, and it just made me curious.
That sounds stupid, but I did have a life changing event when I was in 3rd grade. It was not fun. It's one of the worst things that ever happened to me. I learned about mortality and
Oh.
growing old. At 8 years old, I had a realization that one day I would no longer be a child. I would have to change my life, and like things would like. Basically, I realized like one day I'm gonna grow older, my life is gonna change, and eventually I'm gonna be like a full-fledged adult, and I won't be able to have fun anymore. And it broke
I
me.
wouldn't say full-fledged.
I was basically thinking like one day I'm gonna be I'm moved out. I'm not gonna have a job. I'm not gonna get to play with trains. I'm not gonna play with toys. I'm gonna have like, you know, the episode of SpongeBob Grandma's Kisses, where he goes to his grandma's house and he's like, "I'm an adult now," and she doesn't get
Very
any of the
single.
cookies.
No.
Well, it's a
Yeah,
very
dude.
sad episode.
Okay.
I watched that at 3rd grade and I had an existential
That
crisis.
episode broke you.
I am not kidding. Since I was like 8 years old and I watched that episode, I have that's what made me mature. That's what made me realize like, dang, I'm gonna be old one day. I'm not gonna be a kid anymore.
And that's how your boomer phase started.
That's how I became an old man. Was at 3rd grade. I
From
realized
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob broke me. I remember very vividly because I ran over to my mom crying and I couldn't explain what was wrong. And she looked at my brother and she went, "What did you do?" Because her first assumption was my brother did something to me because he was mean. And then she gave me a fudge pop and I calmed down. And I never explained I never
So
explained.
cute.
I loved fudge pops. I still do. And it actually sucks because I love fudge pops, but when I eat them, I tear up a little bit. But anyway, I permanently at 8 years old, I learned about mortality and it was not fun. I gotta say. I wish I didn't know about it at such a young age.
Dang. It's almost like
And then I
reading the
started
book.
making the comic.
Reading the
That
book
was a
that the
few.
sun's gonna die in a billion years, and you go, "Oh no."
Same thing. Yeah, in first grade, I had that happen. They told me the sun was going to explode in a billion years, and I would walk sadly in the playground and be like, imagine humans in a world where everything's perfectly dark. And it was extra bad because at that time, A, I didn't really have friends, and B, I had a deep fear of the dark. I still do, but it wasn't as bad. It's not as bad. You guys have any genuine fears?
Shots.
Dying, actually. I
Shots.
really wasn't
Oh,
afraid of
dying.
dying up until recently.
No,
And dying is actually more of a recent fear of mine.
No, I agree. I have the same thing. I'm very afraid of dying. That is a big one. Um,
I don't know if I'm necessarily scared of dying. It's more of what comes after. You know?
yeah, it's like I'm not afraid of
Oh.
like being like shot and exploded or just
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
more
not
just fear
necessarily
being
scared of the
old
process
and
of
being
death.
like, oh God. Like
It's just more of what comes
the
after. Is there
concept of
really
the concept of approaching
Finding out
death.
that the Mormons were right.
oh fuck, bro.
Who
Oh,
joined? Oh,
me.
Izzy.
It's Izzy. Welcome
Izzy.
back. Yeah. So Izzy, do
Okay.
you fear death?
No, anyways, check this out, guys. I got a brand new gaming chair.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
We were talking
God,
about death.
Did you
Izzy
finally get rid of
joins
that
chair,
awful
boys.
thing?
Well, I have
To be
another
fair, a
fear.
bad chair will be the death of you, man.
So I have
No,
things to say.
this one's awesome.
Is
Huh?
the so
Send
do you
pics.
guys have any other fears besides Tyler, Avi, Cruz?
I
Matt?
have
I'm
an
trying to
I have
think
an
of like a
unnecessary fear
genuine
of touching the.
fear.
Okay,
Bro, JJ the jet plane's fucking horrifying. Have you seen that motherfucker?
dude, I watched him as a
How do
kid.
they let that shit air?
I don't know. I watched it as a kid, and that's probably why I'm this now.
Also, whenever I'm weightlifting, my biggest fear is dropping the bar on my neck when I'm bench pressing.
That
That
does
is
seem
that
terrifying.
is that doesn't happen. I don't bench press often, but when I do bench press, that is a thought. I'm like, if this falls, it will crush my
Yeah, like
rib cage, and I will like certainly die.
yeah, I do upper body twice a week. So whenever I'm benching, I'm always like, I could just drop this.
That is a
Whenever I'm
legit.
just laying there with my hands on my chest, and I'm like, if there's an earthquake right now, this could
And this
just on my
slips,
neck,
like it's
and I would
over.
die.
That is also
Yeah,
that is
I
a
don't
scary
know. It's
thought.
just such a fucking jarring thought. Like when I'm
I
weightlifting,
don't have that, but
I don't know.
yeah,
This
I've thought
isn't
of that.
this isn't as like interesting as Robert's, but I have an unnatural fear of touching the inside of a bathtub or sink.
Ooh, explain.
Could you please explain this one? I'm curious.
And I'm
Yeah.
very and I absolutely refuse to touch like any sort of drain. No, like even if it's like from Home Depot or whatever, like
Like
display
a
Why?
ones.
not connected drain. It just
Yeah,
still
I'm
upsets
also
you.
deathly afraid of
Are you
those.
scared of
Like
getting sucked up, or like, what's the fear part of it?
I think it's just because I just imagine it to be super duper dirty.
That is
Oh, you
that
know
is
something I actually do have a fear about? Fireworks.
really.
Oh,
Okay,
You would not
so
like to hear that.
God, you're such a chubby.
not fireworks like explosion, like setting off a firework, a personal firework yourself.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
have fear of
scary.
that
Oh,
because
that's
okay,
not fair.
when I was a kid, there used to be this
Ooh,
Spanish
choke
show
ball.
called La Rosa de Guadalupe,
Oh
I
my
where
know
god,
what you're
like
that
talking
shit.
about.
something would
I
happen,
know. Yeah, I know
something
what
bad
you're
would
talking
happen.
about.
The entire show would be like about a life lesson revolving it, and then at the end you'd pray to Guadalupe, a rose
Was
would
it?
come down, and everything
Avi,
would like kind of get better. Huh?
wait, was it the one where like the kid starts on a firework and loses his arm?
There's a kid
Yeah.
who sets off a firework
Yeah.
in the beginning, and his hand blows off, and he has to have it prosthetic because
I've
his
seen
hand,
that
he
one.
lost his entire hand.
You know, my mom
And
told me about that when I was
that
young.
stemmed a fear of fireworks that I still have to like this day. That I rat. It's not like I'm like scared of being around them or anything. I just don't like setting any off like myself.
You don't want to be near to like the ones that go off.
Yeah.
That's a fair fear to be had.
For me,
I
I
it's
mean,
think
like
we got some fireworks like literally yesterday, just to set off, and I just like I was happy
Nope.
watching them, but like I was backed off. I don't know. Just ever since I watched that, I that's an actual fear I have.
sexual.
Hold on. There we go.
Honestly, so you know, what was it? They say that all other fears you learn, but there's two human fears that like people naturally have. I think it's the fear of
Death.
heights and fear of
Isn't it
Nice.
darkness? Like everyone still
I
has an
think
innate
darkness.
here fartness.
It's not darkness. It's fear
Everyone
of
here
the
hates fart,
unknown.
Yeah.
dude. That is
Oh.
my fear.
Yeah.
Well,
Is also
I
death
okay.
really not one of them? I feel like that's just inherently something
But,
everyone
like,
should
yeah, but
initially be afraid of because your whole point is to live.
it's not like I don't. I guess it is a fear, but I get very anxious in like. Have you ever been in like true darkness, like pitch
Oh my
black?
god, no, like
No.
separation dark. I
Yeah.
forgot what it's called, but like you
That
lose all your senses.
I will
and
lose my
everything.
mind if it's like really dark. I get really stressed out. Like when it's like dim out. Like if there's like night and there's like light in the distance, and I'm camping, I'm okay with that. But if I'm at home and there's literally like pitch darkness in the middle of the night, I will get super like stressed out.
Emilio,
I don't like darkness.
can I
Right,
say
'cause, like,
something that
Bigfoot's
really
So,
like?
so is that why you like this sensory deprivation chambers?
No, I will. I think I will freak out because I have not only do I have a fear of darkness, but I remember I told my roommates this. I'm like, guys, I have a fear of the dark, and they looked at me like I was like stupid. They're like, "What do you mean you're afraid of the dark?" I'm like, "It makes me anxious to be in the dark," and they couldn't wrap their heads around it that I was afraid of the dark.
Actually,
I
I don't have like a fear of the dark. I do have a fear of going blind though.
Oh my
That
god,
is like
yeah,
the
that
worst
does
thing that
sound
could
terrifying.
that's
ever
a
happen to
valid
me.
one.
Going
blind and
blind
hearing are
would
the
be
two
the.
that I'm scared of losing.
Going
I'm
blind
scared
or
of
losing hearing
hearing,
scares
So
me.
you're not
but
scared
I
of losing
can
an
live
arm or
without
something.
hearing.
See,
Going
I'm fine
blind
with losing
is
my
like
You'll
hearing
never
such.
be the professional gamer you'll ever be if you lose an arm. If you lose a leg, that's fine.
I'd rather lose a leg than an arm.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
here's
But
the thing.
like, oh my, going blind, like actually, because something
yeah,
this
if you
didn't
lose your
stem
eye, you
up
can't
until I
game.
kind of like heard of something. It's like, if you just closing your eyes, you can imagine. Oh, look, I'm blind right now because I can't see anything. But you see blackness. People who are blind just don't see anything. It's completely gone. There's just nothing. You don't get any senses from that. It
It's just
just
so hard
kind
for
of
me to understand.
yeah.
How do you
But
see nothing?
here's my other thing about that is like if you lose an arm or a leg, we live in a world where it's you can't obviously grow a new one, but there's like prosthetics and like things you can do
We're
where you can
developing good
still live
technology
a
for it. Yeah.
life. You can still live a life very like fairly normally. But if you're blind, there is nothing they can do to repair that right now.
Well, I know
You
there
are
is one
blind.
thing where it's like they put a
A
chip in your
camera.
brain and it's like it senses like little light signals or something coming in and it kind of does
I
like
have heard of
flashes
that.
where you could kind of
But
see like just a
again,
blur
that's
of
so
things.
like basic. Like if you lose an
I
arm or
actually
a
haven't.
leg,
I heard of that like years ago. I
you
don't
can
know if
move
they've
around.
gotten any better technology than
But
that,
like
but yeah.
if you're blind, there's nothing. There's no way that people know right now that you can fully regain your vision. You
There's
now
this.
have to adapt to a life of like permanent blindness. That's just awful to me.
Oh my god, how do you put
Deafness
these?
like sucks, but at least you can still like see and stuff. But the idea that I would never be able to like hear music or like people speak to me.
That ruins
Like,
someone's
The
life.
music is a big one for me. I listen to music so
well, my
fucking
thing is
much.
like, how would I hang out with you guys? Like, we spend a lot of time like calling on the internet, and if I just can't ever hear again, like, I would have to.
We
I would
can
have to
game
every
in
time I
Braille.
join. I would have to. Yeah, I would have to have like you guys send me captions.
Dude,
Or
honestly,
They've
silent for
developed
me the
stuff
whole
for
time.
that.
well, there's like hearing aids, but
There's
like
like
I don't know.
hearing aid
yeah,
subtitle stuff,
yeah, but like,
actual sign language
like, but
now.
like, what if like in a world that doesn't have that?
No, it's
Yeah,
that's the
So, like,
crazy thing, Cruz. We're in a world that does.
I know, right? So you don't have to worry about it. Maybe like in the 1800s, yeah.
No,
But,
no. The
like,
Honestly,
second you lose your
I'm
hearing, all
fine.
technology gets lost. They keep it in a building, and that building just combusts for
They
no
go,
can't
reason.
ye
have
don't get.
Someone broke
Honestly,
in
I'm
and burned
you
it
fine
you
with
get a
down.
going
license
deaf.
that can't buy any more like technology.
You have
I'm
a
fine with
restraining
going
order on
deaf.
freaking
It's so
technology.
Bruh. I can't get 50 miles close to a fucking Apple store.
You know, I've never
Ooh.
been to an Apple store.
It's
Oh,
so
they're so
They're
good.
just so mid.
Are
Eh,
they?
yeah.
Same as the Samsung store, Best Buy, Target, and just every store is
You've never
mid.
been to a Best Buy?
They're all mid.
The Best Buy
And
stink.
I've
Anyway,
Oh.
never been to a
actually,
Best Buy.
you know,
Best Buy
so
I
is
have.
great.
I had an
We found an
a very
arcade there.
a very particular
Best
question
Buys
to
are
ask.
Best Buys are
What's the question
kind
to
of
ask?
The
cool.
only Best Buy I went to is the one at the mall.
Just a
But I have a
Sometimes
very
you go to Best Buy and they're just out of stock, like
Yeah,
just consistently on a lot of stuff, so it just looks empty.
yeah.
It's
Oh my
like,
god,
I-
that's
damn.
like back rooms right there.
so I have like a hypothetical question
What
I'd like
was
to
it?
ask.
I
Yeah.
went to the mall
Sorry,
yesterday.
Emilio.
No, it's
And
okay. You can
no,
start
it's
it.
about backroom thing, and I don't know. I went to this mall, but it was super early, so none of the actual stores inside were open like at all. So we were just
Mhm.
walking around, going to like one of the big stores connected, but on the other side, and it just felt so weird, like just the emptiness of everything was closed down. There was no one. It was just an empty mall
You
and
should have took a
walking around it.
picture.
Yeah, I
It,
took
it
a
felt
picture.
like a liminal
Oh, you-
space. Like
Actually,
I just
my question kind of relates to that, Avi. It's what are some places that you either don't like to go to or you would never want to go to? Like obviously, like yeah, I'm uncomfortable in an empty mall. What are some spaces or places you go where you're like
North
I don't?
Korea.
no, I would love
That's
to
a
go there.
valid
I
one.
wouldn't love to go to
North
Korea.
Korea?
North
Why
And
not?
Korea.
I have a genuine one.
Not really, no.
Where would
No.
you never go?
The fucking catacombs.
Oh, that's a pretty good one. I would. I
I
Have
would
you
not
want to
seen
go
go
Up
there.
there.
Above, So
That
Anything that
Below?
sounds
involves like dead people
interesting.
and darkness, I do not want to go.
So
Like,
like
I
in the
would.
graveyard.
Is there any way you would never want to visit?
That I would never want to visit other than like countries that have bad stuff.
Well, yeah, like a
Kansas.
specific place that you would just like be like I'd never
Okay.
step foot there.
The place that I know I'm gonna probably eventually have to do, but going under the house and into the
Oh, that's
Oh,
valid.
that
Ooh.
that
I have one
sucks.
right here, and it's just my stepdad goes in there, and then I'm just like, oh god, someday
You
I'm
just hear
probably
him
gonna have to do
Yeah.
scream.
this. That's what
You
freaks me
where?
out.
That is true. We have
Tyler,
that.
you
We
have
have
to
a
go
crawl
down
space
there
at
and
my house.
recreate the scene from Breaking Bad.
Wait, you
Avi,
have a
you
basement,
you
Tyler?
It's
well,
not
it's
a
like a crawl
basement, it's a crawl
space.
space.
It,
I have
Oh,
that too
space.
at my house.
yeah.
It's just kind of like in between like the dirt and your house. There's just like this like
My
crawling level
I have
hole.
one, but it's in like complete reverse. It's like the attic. It's a micro attic that we have.
Oh, we have that too in my attic. We have
Yeah,
a
I have
crawl
that
space in the attic.
pretty
It's not
small
fun.
attic.
No, but like it's super weird because you have to like the only way you could access it is through the closet.
Yeah,
I have that
yeah,
at my
yeah, I
house
have that
too.
one
There's
too.
like in my closet. There's a panel that you push up. That I
Yeah,
didn't even know
exactly,
existed
and then
until,
it just
2 years
opens
ago.
it.
I didn't know that existed like 2 years ago. It's like a panel you push up and like sort of. I would completely. I don't even remember what I was watching Wendigo, and that's why. And I remembered a place that you will never, you could not pay me to visit is the Warren Occult Museum in New England.
There's
The
a Warren
what?
Occult
A what?
Museum.
So,
What?
so you know the movies The Conjuring, right?
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that's what that
So,
is.
I love that.
well, they feature two famous paranormal investigators called Ed and Lorraine Warren. Basically, for years they investigated like quote unquote
Oh,
ghost and like demon sightings, and
is
they
that where
collected
Anvil's at?
literally thousands of objects they said
Oh,
are like cursed, and like
dude,
they have like the
I
Annabelle
so
doll,
want to go there.
they have doll statues, they have
Two
all these like
completely
cursed
different things.
projects, and they gathered them in one place, and you could not pay me to ever step
No,
foot in that
See,
place.
I
see. No, here's
totally
the thing,
want to go
Emilio.
there,
Dude,
man.
I
I
would
didn't
fucking
realize
go
that's where
with
they
you,
kept
Avi.
Avi,
Let's
them.
do like
you
let's
could
spend a night
never
No,
there.
pay
I'd be
me.
completely horrified being there.
You could
Like,
never.
I don't
Would you
really
guys ever
believe
go
it
on
like
like
that,
a
but like once you're there and you're like, there's a chance.
Yeah, like there's a very good chance that maybe
But I
nothing happens. But the
100% want to
idea
go
of
there,
being in a
man.
place, it. Oh, hey, mom, hold on.
24 hours at the Cursed Museum.
What were you
I'm gonna
saying,
say
Rob?
something. Have you guys ever been scared of Spirit Halloween?
Yes,
No.
yes, I hated Spirit Halloween as a kid. That thing was so terrifying that I remember what happened is I walked in and there's little things you step on and it activates like the monsters.
Oh my god.
That's
I
Oh
didn't
my god.
I didn't
God,
know
Tyler.
about I didn't see the
Sorry,
step
weird
and so I
timing.
just stepped there and then the monster went off and I got scared.
But
So
Literally,
as a
honestly.
kid,
Yeah.
I had to go to Spirit Halloween a lot because like
Don't.
my mom she like did face paint stuff and she needed a lot of fake blood since during Halloween it was very popular. So we'd get it there and then she would like to look around. there was always just that one aisle as a kid that just always scared me to go down because it had that one big like dude just looking at you, and then it started moving, and I was like freaked the fuck out.
I had that happen. I had a traumatic moment that always stuck with me in a spirit Halloween. Was they had this Frankenstein animatronic you could get with you, like walked in front of him and stepped off. He would grab his head, pull it off, and you would see like the bloody stump, and then he would like put it back on. So my brother thought, he's like, it'd be hilarious. Hey Amelia, look at this, and he kept setting it off. So I was just staring at this evil like monstrosity. I was like 6, so this thing's like 2 and 3 feet taller than me, screaming and doing this. And my mom eventually's like, Amelia, Rodney, knock it off. And I was so like, that traumatized me. I was very scared.
You
But
I mean, you
know,
can't lie. It does sound hilarious, though.
looking back on it, that's freaking hilarious. But like at the time, I almost started like crying in fear. It made me really pissed and just
But yeah,
upset.
no, I love going
But
Spirit Halloween, man.
anyway, back to sorry before I had to say goodnight to
oh
my
my
mom. Was
god, there's a red spider running around the screw.
I would never go to the Warren Occult Museum. It is so bad that the guy who used to run it said, "If you touch anything, you need to let me know immediately so we can bless you."
Oh
What?
my god.
Dude,
Just
I want to be blessed.
he according to the guy that used to run it before he passed away, he said like some of the stuff in there is literally so evil that just touching it, we need to bless you before you leave.
I want to know what happens if they don't bless you.
I feel like a lot of that like cursed item stuff just stems from the fact that you say it's cursed, so you get into your head on
You get
being like scared of it.
reinforcement. You
Yeah.
think
Okay,
something
do you
bad will
guys
happen.
remember was it Charlie?
Oh yeah,
Which
yeah,
one
the
was
Charlie
it?
Oh,
The
Charlie
one
show.
where you
yeah.
put the 2 pencils on
Yep,
top
that's
of
Yeah,
Charlie.
and it
like,
says yes
That's
or
Charlie.
no.
I remember I
yeah.
did that, and then like a few days later, a big like shelf where we kept like a bunch of glasses and stuff fell over my house, and that like got to me for a bit. Like I'm like, oh crap, oh no, it's coming after me.
Did
Oh
you say
no.
bye, Charlie? Did you forget to say bye, Charlie? Are you
That's a
fucking
Ouija
stupid,
board.
dude?
Oh my god, Avi's cursed
That's
for
what you're supposed to say.
life.
You're supposed to say bye, Charlie, or some shit.
No, that's a Ouija board. We have to say goodbye. Charlie was just like a Vine challenge at the time.
What was
Yeah,
the
I
other one where you
remember.
have to like say the name in the mirror 3 times? Bloody
Bloody
Oh,
Mary?
Bloody
Mary.
Oh,
Mary.
Bloody
Yeah.
That
Mary?
one
Oh,
destroyed me when I
Jesus.
was young. That one scared me.
Oh,
The
That
idea of
scared me
it
like
freaked
hell
me
because my
out.
brothers messed with me before. I remember one time like I went in there to do it and they were gonna come in with me, but then they closed the door and then started saying it and I started
Oh my
panicking.
god, I know that feeling.
oh, that would suck.
But
What's it called? Actually, I found out a while ago. Apparently, there is a like real thing about it. There's apparently
oh,
this visual
I've heard of
effect
that.
that causes you to see Bloody Mary or just
Yeah,
What?
creepy, messed up
No,
faces.
I've heard about
So
this. There's
apparently,
psychology reasoning.
yeah. I
your
actually
your
know that.
mind wants to make faces out of just anything
Oh,
that you
yeah,
see,
yeah.
and so pareidolia and stuff. But there's this thing where if you look in pitch darkness, you amp yourself up to think about creepy stuff when you say Bloody Mary, and then you are looking like around, and you're not looking at your own face. So it starts to mess up and warp everything around you, so you see creepy stuff. And actually, I tried it and it did work. I like turned off the lights and started thinking creep stuff, and then I focused on something in the corner of the room, and then my face got all messed up, like I visually saw my own face get like all fucked
Alright,
up.
we should all do
It
that.
was so
Nope,
weird.
you'll never catch me doing
No,
that.
It's an actual
together.
effect. No, I
No,
say
but I
like
have
just
heard of
try
it.
it. It's so weird.
I have heard of that effect, and then I remember actually, I told my mom that because my mom said that she teaches elementary school, and she told me that 2 kids came up to her, and then they were talking about something, and she deduced that the second graders were trying to play Bloody Mary in the bathroom. And then I was like, Mom, that's something I used to do as a kid. And she's like, Really? That's something I used to do when I was a kid. And I'm like,
Oh
Oh
my
my
god,
lord.
dude.
Damn, has that
Holy
really been
shit.
passed down that much?
Damn.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
I guess since it actually does technically do something because of the whole mind thing, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, when I
Shoot,
said
what
Bloody
you just-
Mary 3 times in the
Told me that I
bathroom,
was
all
like,
I could see
Whoa.
was Avi's face, and then I cried.
I was too much of a bitch to actually
I
do
remember
that,
there
dude.
was also just like a time where I got scared. Like
Bro,
I
Robert,
thought
we should do
thinking
that.
it would
We get
activate
like
it. So
super
like
high.
Oh yeah,
I
do
thought
Bloody
too.
about it,
Mary.
and then I'm like, don't think about it.
I had that too.
Yo, do you
But like,
remember
if
the
I
whole
say
like?
it, if like there's no grace period, like I said it like twice when I was younger. Do you think it still carries over?
Mm,
No. Did you have the candles lit?
Oh, dude, I did that. I did that.
You had to have like 50 candles lit, I was told.
50?
Candles?
Five
Some
That's
zero.
change
Are you, are
depending
you
on who you ask. Some people said 1, some people said like 50, some people said like 10. It varied.
But
I
isn't it
heard
supposed to be just
5.
lit in the dark?
I heard you had to have a candle.
I heard like just in the dark, just turn off the lights and
I don't
laugh so you
know.
can say it 3 times, like
No.
in the mirror, then she'll
That
appear.
reminds me of something kind of I remember when I was younger, I saw a trailer for a Paranormal Activity movie where they tried that, where they have a camera in the bathroom and they say it, and they're like, "Oh, it didn't work." And as they're leaving the bathroom, you see there's like a trick of the light where they don't see it, but they walk by, and in the mirror, you see like in the background, there's someone in the corner of
It's
the
Bloody
room, and it was
Mary.
awful. It scared me so bad.
It was Bloody Mary. She appeared.
I maintain when I was younger, those Paranormal Activity trailers scare me, and I watched it this past year. They're still scary. 1 and 2 still freaked me out. They had some
Dude,
really good, like, scary
Bro,
moments.
I didn't know The Ring was a remake.
Was
Yeah,
it?
like a Japanese horror film.
Yeah, I did not know about that.
Oh yeah, it's originally a Japanese one,
I
and then
haven't
they
seen
did
the
the
original, but apparently I hear that the original like way
It's so
better
much.
than the
Yeah, yeah,
actual
yeah.
Ring.
I mean, it's because Japan. Like the
Japanese horror here is pretty intense sometimes.
Yeah.
But
Dude, their fucking urban legends are horrifying.
actually, Avi, so you said you would go to the Warren Occult Museum?
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I actually don't, because the people that originally owned it, the Warrens, I believe, passed away a few years ago, and I think it closed, but they said they were moving it somewhere. So right now, I have no idea what any of that crap is, if
It
it's still
closed
in the
back in
same spot.
2019?
Yeah, I don't know if,
Permanently.
yeah, but I heard that they were gonna move the stuff. I
Aw.
don't know if that's true, so either it's all still there and you can't see it, or they're
Emilio.
trying
I
to move
imagine a
it.
dying wish would be don't move it. They'd get angry.
I guess it is true.
Oh my
Annabelle
god.
doesn't like change.
Emilio, they're putting it in Davis.
I just wouldn't go to it.
You just wouldn't go to Davis, or would you just not go to the
The
museum?
Just the
entirety
museum.
of that would be cursed. That's why everyone makes fun of British peoples because they have that
Neil, what
curse.
if you did? Actually, something would be great if they did put in Davis. Like, first thing I would do if I was Neil's roommate is go out and buy like an Annabelle doll and just
Oh,
set it up in the middle of the night.
I'm
So
telling you
just
right
like
now, I would
2
burn it.
nights after it
I wouldn't.
happened.
Avi, I wouldn't even throw it out. I would strip, like, destroy it. I would throw it. I would throw it like in a wood chipper. I'd chop
you
it
have
up.
a
I
wood
wouldn't have
chipper?
it. I'd find one. They clean it.
I
They
mean,
clear out trees
I
every
can't
once in a
blame you
while.
for that. That feels like a pretty like
Avi, I can tell you right now,
what's the term?
if you started pranking me with that, I would punch you. I would legit like hit you if you tried something like
Why
that.
don't you take the anger out on the doll?
Yeah.
Because well, I'm saying if I found out that you did it, like you were
How would
messing
you
with me,
find out? It was nobody.
Because
Avi starts
Emilio would be
pointing,
like, "Who the
laughing at me.
no?" Emilio would be like, "Who the fuck did it?" I'd be like, "Oh, maybe the doll moved itself."
I'd smack you
You
across
don't
the
think it
face.
was
Hero
Hero
burn.
Brian?
I'd backhand you
It was
on the
Charlie
spot.
Charlie.
He's still following Avi to this very day.
Yep.
Dude, when I get rich and like have like all the big thing, one of the things I have to buy is like a life-size Hero Brian statue, like
That'd be
big,
Oh
awesome.
my god, like a
That's
big
6 foot
Hero Brian.
hero
I'm gonna
Brian?
ask,
Hero Brian?
if
Yeah.
you became like instantly wealthy, like Jeff Bezos, what's like the most extravagant thing you would buy first?
Hero Brian.
Like a giant warehouse
Expensive
where I
water.
could like set up.
Set up
The
what?
most what do you mean by extravagant? Like just costly or like just
Mainly
like
just like big purchase,
um
just money wise.
Oh, I know what I would do.
I
It's
would
just
buy a
I'd buy a
house
PC.
probably. I would buy a house.
A,
Well,
a
like,
more,
So
a more like
understandable,
kind of,
Cruz.
but that's like
But, like,
chump change. That's like
not
chump
not
change.
like
oh, not chump change a house. Those things
Yeah,
are
no,
depends
but
on
like
where you buy it.
you have the
well,
budget of Jeff
I'd build
Bezos.
my own like custom house, so it's like perfect.
No, but like Emilio,
God, that would take
you
forever.
get a yacht.
I would not get a yacht.
Honestly, I
Or,
see
like-
no
or
interest
what,
in a
like-
yacht. People are like,
I
yes,
don't
yacht.
like
This is
I
stupid.
don't like yachts.
If
Is it
you
like-
are
is it like a
stupidly
custom
rich to the point where you can just like own a yacht, like
I'm just gonna buy an
spot it,
island.
But
buy
I-
a yacht.
If I was just Bezos rich, I'd just own one.
But yeah,
That is true.
you only need one.
I don't know.
I heard
I'd
a
only
story
own
that
one.
there's a
Like-
guy who collects yachts and he names them after James Bond movies and he had like 8 or something. And he's
Yikes.
like stupid. Because he's
Honestly, I
gotta
would
pay
just-
like to dock them and have them maintained. Like what What an idiot.
If I was rich,
Yeah.
I'll just buy a home like in every country.
Ooh, I didn't even think of maintaining costs. Yeah, I'm never buying a yacht.
And then you have to pay to keep them like docked places.
Skidoo.
I'd rent a yacht.
I know.
You know,
Even if I'm stupidly rich and be cheap, I'd rent a yacht just to
you know
have
what
fun,
else
but
I
I
would
don't
want to
want to
do?
buy a
If
yacht.
I was rich, what I would do is I would go to Ford and I would be like, I want you to make me a custom car.
Dude,
I
they've
would,
done that.
yeah, I would be like, I want it to have the body of like a Thunderbird, but I want it to be electric so it doesn't use gas.
Dude,
I'm like, I want it to look like these old cars, but it's got to be electric, and it's got to
I
be
would,
have like the most fuel efficient, so like I don't like run out of power, and it's got to basically just be modernized. But I want it to look like an old car.
I would
Just
just
That would probably
invent
be
buy
like
fusion
Elon Musk.
energy.
my extravagant purchase.
I would just
What did
buy
you say,
Elon
Cruz?
Musk. Elon Musk, I would buy him.
Did you hear his
Well,
Twitter
Twitter.
deal failed?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, he's trying to back out
Hell
on
yeah.
it. But
Wait, what's
No,
he
no,
trying
no,
to
no.
back
He
out on?
apparently
backed
I heard.
out.
Huh?
Now that he pulled
Yeah, he
out, he's not
backed.
buying
He
it, and
pulled
now they're
out.
trying to
Yeah.
sue him as
Yeah,
like a
no,
bait.
It's
apparently
like,
him
deal.
he
because
signed a thing
signed
that
it.
allows them to just force him to buy it.
Why is he backing out?
I don't know. If he said.
Tesla's stocks apparently like hit a
Oh
real
no,
bad.
no! It's not
Uh,
that. It's just like cause like he's like fake accounts and shit.
Wait, Twitter?
Yeah,
Huh?
like bot
What
accounts,
do you
and they're
mean?
like they gave him a number of like how many bot accounts. He's like, no, that's not the real number. Show me the real number.
I'm pretty sure that's just a
No.
excuse. I don't
Well,
think that's the main reason he goes. You know what? Never
Fine,
mind.
Avi.
yeah,
I
I would
You
trust
know,
just buy
Cruz.
Elon
actually,
Musk. I'd buy
there is
him.
hold on, there is something else. It's been so stupid, but it has been a dream of mine for the past few years. Is I would like to get the
I'm the
pinball
slave.
machine that I loved when I was a kid, and B I would like to develop my own pinball machine. That
No,
is
that's
like the
Just like
most
Ready Player One.
like you know I would like to think that if I got rich I would like settle away like I would get like a bunch of money, I'd give a bunch to like people that need it, and then I would like excess that I would just spend on like dumb people to get dumb things like there's a series
See,
I watch on YouTube called Still Standing where it's like artisans make like
I'm still
really
standing.
expensive things by hand. I would pay someone to like go around the world, go to all of these places and get me these like handcrafted things. Like, go to
See,
India and get me a handmade mirror that costs like 7 times as much as an original one.
I would
Emilio,
make
it's like your
Wizard 1 great
deals are
again.
bad. You're just giving out your money to people.
I mean, I can't blame you. Like,
Keeping that
yeah,
shit.
if you had that kind of money, you could just buy it and then own it.
They're actually hella cheap
What?
comparatively.
What's
I think they're
what?
only like 100 mil.
What's 100 million?
Wizard 101's net worth.
You
Like a little
know
under
what?
100.
Gonna buy Wizard
I will,
101.
I will
Yeah,
just
bro.
buy
Gotta
one
make Wizard 101
101.
great again.
Damn it! I gotta find out how much it's gonna take for me to buy Apex.
Oh
You
my
know
I'm
what
gonna buy
else?
Respawn
I would
just
like
so I
to
can
buy
make them make
things
another
just to
Titanfall
like
game.
upset
Just buy
people.
EA.
So like,
I don't
say
want EA.
That's
Yeah,
a
no one wants to
terrible
own
investment.
EA.
They
No,
don't
you
have
can use
exclusive
that
Star
and make
Wars
your
rights. There's no
games.
point for EA anymore.
Just make your games great again. Make Battlefield great again.
Make
Make FIFA great
Madden.
again. Make Madden great again.
I would like to like buy stuff and
Also,
like turn it over to like other people just to make like I would like to make like big corporations really hate me. Like I would just do like say it's like oh like we want to buy this spot as like a new oil field. I would buy it and then just give it to the town and be like you can do whatever you want with it, but don't let them have it. Don't let them
That's
turn it
literally
into
an episode of
industrial
Full
zone.
Metal Alchemist.
So what would be the first thing you do if you like were like the richest
Well,
man?
it's different.
Pay off my
There's a
parents'
little
house.
bit of a difference.
That's the first thing I would do.
It's literally the same plot.
If I had a lot of money, the first thing I'd do is
A
pay
bit.
off all of my
The
family's
ending's a
like
little different
debts.
from it.
For me, see, I'll do a press conference. I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna end world hunger. Fuck you guys. Your problem, not mine.
In
What?
Emilio's story, the rich men are a little happier. I guess that's the best way I can say it.
Yeah.
If I got
See,
a lot of money,
I would just not end world.
I would like
Yeah.
to mess with like rich corporations and stuff. Buy like the rights to things, just like obscure things, and then they would be like, "Hey, we can use that for movie rights." I'm like, "No, you can't. I own it, and you're not making a remake."
Oh, you're gonna be that guy?
oh, I'd
I would be
totally
like,
go for making remakes, man.
I would be like
I figure
Disney.
out how I can
No,
get
you're
my
not
hands
gonna.
on Willy Wonka and make a new Willy Wonka movie.
You know what I would do? actually, I've
Burton.
talked before where I've thought about like projects I would love to do like with a lot of money. I would like to do a traditional hand animated like like old Disney style like Don Bluth like watercolor backgrounds like beautiful movie.
I would
So
pay
you're
for
gonna
Disney to
make like
make
a
a
Are you
proper
2D
just gonna
movie
make
comic
your
again.
show.
comic a show? I feel like it's
I
something
would
I
also
would do.
like to
I
develop my
just hired
ideas.
like animators to like actually like put some ideas I have like make them to use.
That's how I
But,
feel with
like,
like
It
games
probably
and
wouldn't be
stuff.
good, but I just want it to happen.
we live your childhood dreams like, yes, this is what I saw in my mind.
Exactly.
epic battles.
Exactly.
But
Like with
what
the
I
most
would
poorly written rip-off characters.
Deadshot.
Deadshot.
Exactly.
But what I was thinking about that, I was like, I would love to see my favorite book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, animated into like a beautiful, like hand-drawn film. I would also, again, I would like to get properties and either hoard them so greedy studios don't ruin things I like, or make my own, like, yeah, do like, obviously, like, make remakes and, like, good stuff that's good.
Alright, this has been
I-
going on for about 2 hours, and I don't feel like editing more than 2 hours.
Oh,
I didn't even say
So,
what I
completely
wanted
forgot
if I had
about
all the
that.
money in the
Yeah.
world.
Okay, we'll
What do we
finish it off,
title this
Ishmael.
episode?
I don't know anymore. You freaking hopped around everywhere. First it's gonna be dreams, now you guys made this? God.
Random stuff.
Being rich is a
Originally, it
dream.
was supposed to be food, and then it went to dreams.
Well,
And
that's what we're
The
doing.
food concept stuck for like one sentence.
Well, the
alright?
thing,
That
no,
was
the
the
thing is,
thing.
we talked about it before the podcast started, so we were like,
Yeah.
okay, we already talked about that.
Yeah, we
need to
did.
bring it back.
Alright, well
Okay.
everyone say their goodbyes.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Buenos
Bye.
aires.
Fuck the
Check me out
world.
on Instagram. I'm doing a plug.